What's going on, everyone? It's Steven the Laggy Gamer, and welcome to another episode of another gaming podcast. We're on episode 26 now, and I'd like to welcome my co-host, Chance. What's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. On the highway right now, driving home.
Driving home through good old Kansas.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say he got quieter and quieter as that went on. Or was that just me?
I don't know.
It kind of did, so he might fade out during this. We don't know. We just heard some cops go by earlier while he was driving, so it could be very entertaining for the next 30 minutes.
Three cops to pull over one motorcycle. And the guy was like a crotch rocket. He had like a really tall mohawk. And, yeah, it was pretty interesting.
And you heard a little snippet of his voice. Dustin, what's up, dude?
Oh, sitting around healing. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, Dustin had a little accident since the last podcast.
It wasn't an accident. It was my own stupidity.
And if you're a fan of the Facebook page at all, he posted results of his wounds and his healing, his cast now from his decision. Yeah,
I'm in a permanent cast now. I went to the doctor's office, got the splint off. He looked at it. He's like, "All right, well, we're gonna put you in a permanent cast now." I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like 2 weeks out, man. Come on. I have to wear a perm.
None of us ever asked, and I don't want you to tell us. Like, we don't know the stupid thing or reason that set Dustin off to hit a table, but I'm only sitting here picturing it like he read some stupid news article that pissed him off, and
they're not bringing Dragon Quest 7 over. What the fuck?
Just something dumb, and he just breaks his hand or whatever just over something so stupid.
No, I mean, I covered it in one of my videos where I said I often talk about how my job is just super stressful, and it's just my inability to deal with that stress. And then I came home and something else kind of triggered me, and with all that boiling, I just kind of decided to hit a table, because when I was younger and dumber, you could do that kind of stuff. But when the doctor was talking to me about it, he's like, "Well, welcome to middle age. Things are going to start breaking." And I was like, "Oh, fantastic!" So. I'm getting old, and here's the proof.
Hey, the lady's supposed to help relieve the stress, if you know what I mean.
Well,
that's the stress
here, yeah. That's the problem.
Anyways, Chance.
What?
Do you have your car window down? It kind of sounds like he does. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's our guest's air conditioner, because we didn't hear it earlier. But we do have a guest today, all the way from Japan. Guest, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm XcornmuffinX on YouTube. You can just call me Joe. That's easiest because that's my name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. That's my introduction. It's not very introductory, I guess, but
I want to
whatever.
call you XcornmuffinX.
Well, I mean, you can. Feel free. But that's longer.
So XcornmuffinX, what have you been playing recently?
Oh.
Now, Joe, you've been on the YouTube scene for a while now, man, and you also have a podcast of your own. Why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find that podcast at? Because I'm a fan of it.
Oh yeah, it's one of my many podcasts. I have the CXG podcast with Games of War, and I think that's at CXG Podcast. That's the username. I'm pretty sure. We just lost Chance, I think. But yeah. Okay, there he is. Besides that, I sort of have the Japanese gaming podcast, which hasn't had an episode forever.
I was going to say, what is this podcast? I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, there's only 2 episodes. It was me and Playongo, if you know him.
Not really.
He got busy and drawn into some other stuff, so we haven't done anything. So it's probably not happening anymore, but yeah. So that's about it, I guess.
It happens. We get bit. I'm surprised we're still going. Has it been a year? Or has it been just 2 years?
Oh, it's been. I mean, this was started not too long after I started doing YouTube, because it was kind of right away where you're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And I think we've been doing this for a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay.
If not, because I started doing YouTube in 2011.
I think it's a year and a half.
I don't know. I have to go back and look, but
yeah,
it's a year and a half rounding the base on 2 years.
I think it helps, like kind of like your new one, Joe, with the CXG, is like not doing one weekly or something. It's easier to manage if it's once a month, and I know we would love to do more if we could, but getting together once a month is kind of manageable to kind of schedule that. So.
Yeah, I think the problem with the CXG podcast is that Josh and I have like such disparate schedules. Like they're totally not matching at all. So it's really hard for us to get together and do things because there's a huge time difference and our work schedules don't match.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because sometimes like it's hard enough for like the three of us to work out a schedule, let alone we're all in the States with only like a 1 hour time difference. Like you guys clear across the world, I could see that being just completely terrible.
Yeah, there's like a 13 or 14 hour difference between us, so it's like it's kind of a mess sometimes. Like if you listen to the podcast, you'll sometimes hear Josh and he'll be like, "Well, it's like 5 a.m. here now, so I got to go to sleep."
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Oh, that happened to us once. With that dastardly bastard aerodynamish. I think it.
Not for me.
Not for you, cunt. But I think it was like 4 a.m. before we got off. Did it drop again?
No, it may be that is Chance. Chance, are you here?
No, he keeps dropping in and out. So you guys will have to deal with that for the next like 20 more minutes. He'll be in and out.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was banking on that background noise of Chance driving, and then it just disappeared. I was like, oh shit, it happened again. But yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the CXG podcast, so I highly recommend it to you, everyone, to go check it out. We'll leave links to all their stuff here below in the comment box. But why don't we go ahead and get this evening kicked off with maybe some Facebook questions.
Wait, whoa. Ho!
You've jumped way ahead.
Hey,
even I know the format of the show better than you, Steven.
That is Chance's duty, and he is not here. I cannot do that without him.
I'm sorry. Well, in the event that we do not have a Chance here, we need to have. I mean, these things have to follow a very specific pattern here, Steven. I cannot deviate from. Don't fuck with the formula, man.
All right, we'll stick to it then. Joe, are you ready for the big three?
The big three.
Yes.
Kind of.
And I want you to start with your favorite recording artist.
It's hard because I have a lot of different type of music that I listen to. So, but I'd probably say like my favorite band, I guess, is probably the Talking Heads.
Yes.
They're like one of my favorite bands since I was a kid, really. And I have all their stuff, and I used to buy like bootlegs and stuff, like shady bootleg dealers at record shows. I got tons of Talking Head stuff. I got like a signed art book from David Byrne. Got all types of stuff. So I haven't seen. Obviously, I didn't see the Talk because they didn't play any shows past like 1984 or something. But I've seen David Byrne a bunch of times. I saw him in Tokyo actually too. Yeah. But yeah, besides that, Talking Heads and probably the Wu-Tang Clan. It's totally different. But,
I was gonna say that's like two ends of the spectrum right there. Oh boy.
I got a wide variety of music I like to listen to, so I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. That's just funny. The Talking Heads and the Wu-Tang Clan.
Does Wu-Tang still come out with stuff? Like, I know how rock artists will go on forever.
Yeah, man, they got a new album. They got a new album coming out. It's either like out now or out in a month or so.
Wow.
They're getting ready to re-release Method Man's Takao album too.
Oh,
like a deluxe remaster with like bonus tracks and all that nonsense. Or maybe it's already out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan is like is one of those things that like if you get into, you have so much stuff to listen to because they have like all their studio albums, plus they have like all these like weird underground albums, and then there's like all these solo albums, and then there's like all these weird like add-on people in the group that are like not part of the group, but they're like part of their like all-encompassing Wu Nation or whatever. So it's like if you branch out into that, you're like your entire record collection could be Wu-Tang related.
Oh man,
Nice. So that'll lead us into.
I was really hoping it was going to be some kind of like J-pop girl band. I was really hoping it was going to be one of those.
AKB48 all the way.
Yes, there we go. I couldn't remember the numbers.
Speaking of girl band, well, not really a band. I just discovered that I guess there's some famous Australian rapper woman by the name of Iggy Aguela. Has anyone heard of this name or something along that nature?
I have. I haven't heard any of the music, but I've heard the name before.
All I could think of was when I heard it, I saw a video of someone saying what they how they feel when they hear this person rap, and it cuts to a quick clip of Tropic Thunder of the black dude saying, "You're Australian, so be Australian." So it was quite funny. I'm sorry if I'm out of breath. I'm relocating recording areas.
I was going to say, what the hell are you doing, running a marathon over there?
He just had to walk up a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
I was in the kitchen, and the wife
Steven's
said,
all about bodybuilding, but he hasn't done any cardio. So he's like, just moving is like makes him out of breath. All those muscles he's got to move around.
Talking and walking. Anyways, it was quite entertaining because I had never heard of a white woman, female Australian rapper before, so it was interesting.
Did you actually listen to the music? Was she like rapping in Australian? Because you know how sometimes like when people sing, even though they have a very thick like British or Scottish accent, they still sound like they don't sound Scottish or British. You know what I mean? So,
No, she didn't sound Australian. She just sounded like straight Nicki Minaj rapper chick is what she sounded like. So
that's unfortunate. I want some damn authenticity. You know?
Like a Dizzy Rascal. Have you ever heard him?
I want her to rap over a didgeridoo. That's all I want. You know, I want that to be the entire song.
All right, favorite film.
See, I'm not like a very high-minded film watcher. Although I watch like a lot of stuff, but like probably my favorite movie is gonna be They Live.
Yes.
It's great because like if you have the Blu-ray, it has a commentary track by Roddy Piper.
Oh my!
Yes. If you haven't seen that movie, you need to watch They Live. You really need to watch They Live.
Is that the one that says I'm gonna chew bubblegum and?
Yes. Yeah.
I have not seen the film actually, so
what is the matter with you? How old are you?
I don't know. and it's a John Carpenter film, so I don't know why I have not seen that.
Yeah.
But
you need to track that. I need to watch that commentary. Shit.
Oh. Yeah, I bought the Blu-ray specifically because I knew that commentary was on there.
Chance, is this one you've seen?
No.
I mean, honestly,
dude, this should be a movie night one. Then
I was going to say,
like
yes, it's definitely worthy of a movie night.
Okay.
Once we
still haven't done any of them yet.
Yeah, I know.
We have like
It's
3 or 4
good, though.
planned now. It's like
They Live has so many like quotable lines. It's got like not just the ones that were ripped off by Duke Nukem, but it's got a ton of them.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
Oh, I'm excited.
And if you ever seen the South Park episode Cripple Fight, that episode, the fight between Jimmy and Timmy, it's taken directly from They Live.
No, it's not.
It's like,
it can't be.
It is.
No, it is.
Exactly.
It's like a 5-minute fight in this movie.
Yeah, the cripple fight is pretty much exactly the fight in They Live. There's like almost no difference.
So I just looked up like the scores
You dirty
for
motherfucker.
it, and I'm thinking like Rotten Tomatoes is going to give like a 10%, but it's one of these cult classic movies people love.
Yeah.
No, it's got an 83% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's like for as cheesy and crazy as it is, it's actually like a very smart movie about like how we're all just kind of slaves to advertising. It's got some brains behind it.
A 7.3 on IMDb. Wow, this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a really good movie.
Wow.
Besides that, though, I have if you've ever seen Nightbreed, It's like one of my favorite horror movies.
No, I haven't even
I haven't
heard
seen
that one.
one either.
That's it's a Clive Barker movie, directed by Clive Barker. It has David Cronenberg is one of the actors in the movie. He's like
Is
the
it
main villain.
Clive Barker, the Hellraiser guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nightbreed. Looks interesting. Like I'm just looking at like a movie poster. It's like some crazy characters in it.
yeah. It's like they created it with the idea of it being like a movie with monsters, like Star Wars has aliens. Like there's all these crazy types of monsters and stuff in it,
Yeah.
and there's like a monster city. It's really good. They're re-releasing it in like a month or so with like an extra hour of footage that got cut.
Oh my.
So like,
What is the premise of it? Are they like they go hunting other monsters or something? Because they look like a gang of like of
No.
fighters or something.
it's actually like this kind of story about it's like a romance actually, but essentially it's about this the main character. His name is Aaron Boone, and he gets like framed for murders by David Cronenberg, and he's like obsessed with this kind of city, this like legendary underground city called Midian. And Midian is like the city of monsters or something. It's like where they can go to hide so they don't have to be like persecuted by humans, I guess.
Gotcha.
And he finds the city, and they attack him because he's not a monster. And he gets like kind of turned into a monster. And it's kind of like a savior story. He's like there to kind of save them, and he like has his girlfriend who he's like trying to get back together with, and it's really like a juxtaposition between like the monsters are monsters, but like the humans do all the worst stuff in the movie. So it's kind of like a thing like, yeah, they're monsters and they'll kill people, but the humans do all the worst stuff. All the main killings in the movie are done by humans, and all the humans are like these crazy racist like lynch mobs.
This really sounds like District 9.
It does.
Or the Toxic Avenger.
Or that. Yeah.
It's not goofy though, so it's not like the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
But it's not unlike District 9, but it did come out like 20 years before that.
I'm saying like District 9 like ripped off of it, maybe, possibly, a little bit.
Yeah. Clive Barker, I know I heard that name because I've heard of the game, like Clive Barker's Jericho.
Oh yeah, and Undying he also did.
I'm looking at his like movie like list here. And,
Dude, watch the Hellraisers.
Well, I don't think this guy has any right to put his name in front of a movie, thinking it should sell anything. Because
Clive Barker, he's like a super best-selling author. Like all of his books sell like.
Okay, so he's more of a book person then.
Yeah, he's a writer.
Okay,
he's like a Stephen King or something like that. I mean, obviously not as popular as Stephen King, but his books are all bestsellers.
All right, because the movie list is like, whoa, it's like.
I love the first 3 Hellraisers.
Well, he only did one of them. So
yeah, well, I mean, the first one is pretty damn good.
Yeah, first one's amazing.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, like there's a lot of the Hellraiser movies. Like the later ones are mostly bad. But
I like the third one an awful lot. I think the third one was actually probably my favorite.
The third one? That's the one with the CD shooting head one. That's like that one's like the corniest one.
Because it's like
that's why I like it.
Well, some people I think can have the right, like John Carpenter. He can put his name in front of stuff. I'm cool with that. But some people like Brett Ratner, he's starting to put his name in credits he deserves
really?
it. Yeah.
Brett Ratner is? Jesus
he did it
Christ.
with Rush Hour 3 and everything.
It's a Brett Ratner film, which means I will not go watch it.
And it'll be in the title like before it. Rush Hour 3, a Brett Ratner film.
I'm still pissed off at that guy for X-Men 3. I'm still, because, fuck.
Yeah, doesn't the new one, even though I still haven't seen it yet, kind of makes it work somehow, is what I've been told.
It makes it work, but you're still like, man, they're basically what it does is erase X-Men 3. It just erases it.
That's fine with me then.
Yeah, that's what it does. It erases it. And I'm like, yes!
Thank you.
Thank you!
Even though I thought The Kelsey Grammer Beast was a decent character.
No, it's okay because Kelsey Grammer's still Beast. It's
okay.
fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay. Gotta have my Frasier. So.
Yep.
X-Men 3 was the last X-Men movie I watched. After that, I was just like, I'm done.
Dude, go watch First Class. Go watch Days of Futures Past. They're excellent. They really are excellent.
Has anyone seen the Wolverine movie, the last one?
I saw Origins. I haven't seen The Wolverine. I kind of want to see it now. Because there's stuff in Days of Futures Past that I'm like, wait a minute, I've missed something. And apparently there's like a extra scene after the credits in the Wolverine that explains it or something.
I was pretty interested when it came out, but then I never did end up going to see it, so I just missed it, I guess. I haven't seen Days of Future Past yet either, but I think it comes out in DVD like this month, or is it next month?
I don't know, but
it probably does come pretty soon. Yeah, so Godzilla's coming out and stuff already. So
Godzilla came out today.
Yeah,
is Days of Future Past based on the graphic novel? Like, have you guys read it?
Yes, but I mean, it has to change certain things because of the movie universe. But yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
It's based on it, but it's not like beholden to it. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the story is generally the same, but it's like got a few changes or whatever.
Yeah, take the basic idea of Days of Futures Past, and then if you haven't seen First Class, you need to watch First Class because it takes the First Class into account.
Okay,
so it's kind of
I
like
haven't
mixing,
seen that.
Yeah, it's kind of
First
like
Class is good. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like mixing First Class and the graphic novel. So
it's got Kevin Bacon.
But there's forget the Last Stand. Forget it. Just go watch First Class and then watch Days of Futures Past, and then be like, yes, they've erased the Last Stand.
And Chance, speaking of Origins, I have seen that one, and I actually really like that Wolverine movie, even though people hate it.
Are you talking about?
I like it too.
See, I don't like Origins because it completely ruined Deadpool.
Hopefully that'll get that. That was the worst part in it. Was of course he's not. Yeah. If you see the part, he's not really. I won't say anything in case someone hasn't seen it yet. But
yeah, I mean, I was like, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. That's great. And then I saw what they did with it. I'm like, I need to go. I need to leave.
You know, it may be like a carnal sin, but I've never really known or cared who Deadpool was. So that part didn't really ruin it for me. But now later on, knowing a little bit more about Deadpool, I can understand why people had such an issue with that.
Yeah.
My deal was kind of like with Gambit. It's like I liked him in that movie, but then what the hell happened? I mean, where did he go?
Yeah.
I didn't like Gambit in that movie. I was like, they blew it with Gambit.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I didn't like was that it didn't have any room to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That was it. There's Gambit. Then it's just done.
And he didn't do anything. He threw cards, and that was it.
I remember watching the X-Men cartoon.
Realistically,
Gambit.
Realistically though, Gambit is kind of a goofy character. I mean, in the comics, he's goofy looking. He's got
yeah.
So I mean, making him real, true to the comics and in not animated, I guess, as an actual person, it's gonna be kind of awkward no matter what. I think.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for him to put Wolverine in a yellow ass suit.
Didn't they do a crack on that in one of the movies? What do you expect, yellow or something?
They did it in the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to say I saw a yellow. Maybe not. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
I think they did have yellow and black in First Class. They were.
Yeah, that was the black. Yeah, but Wolverine didn't wear it.
Yeah, he's not.
It was the yellow and blue from the original X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of, while we're on it, before we get to the last one, superhero movies, I watched The Winter Soldier yesterday.
I heard it's excellent. I really need to see it.
Oh, man. It is really good. So I highly recommend anyone see that one.
I was kind of ambivalent towards the first Captain America, but yeah.
This blows the first one out the water. Even though I kind of enjoyed the first one, this one, good story, good plot line to it. The acting in it, man. Chris Evans he's awesome as Captain, so...
Man, I haven't seen any superhero movies in 10 years.
I am so sick of superhero movies. I'm just waiting for them.
You guys better go see Guardians of the Galaxy. It is
I know.
It's amazing.
That's what I was going to say.
Strangely, I used to be a really big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy 20 years ago. I used to collect the comic, and was like a huge fan of that. Like there was like a comic in the 90s or like late 80s to mid to early 90s, and then there was like a one in the 70s. So I when they rebooted it for the 90s, I was collecting those, and then I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna get the old ones too. So I probably have a complete collection of Guardians of the Galaxy comics.
Dude, you could probably sell that now for like.
The market for it's probably high as crap right now.
But that always seemed like when I saw the trailer for that, I was like, that's a really weird thing for them to option to make a movie out of. But apparently, it's amazing.
Oh, it is. It's so entertaining. Oh, it is awesome.
Apparently that there's already ideas in the works to tie it in with Avengers, so we're gonna get like a big unified universe here.
I had the feeling that they were gonna try to do the Infinity Gauntlet thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're bringing Thanos into the next Avengers movie.
And he's in Guardians of the Galaxy, so I can see where they're trying to tie it then.
Yeah. Because
I haven't watched any of those. I haven't even, like, from Iron Man on, like, I haven't seen any of those movies. Like,
oh, wow.
See, like, I loved Iron Man 1 and 2. Avengers, I was like, all right. Captain America, I was like, yeah, okay. Thor, I thought was awesome. I love Thor.
Did you see both of those, or just the first one?
I haven't seen the second one yet. Because I'm waiting. I don't want to spend money on these things. I just wait for them to come on Netflix. You know?
See, I'm totally opposite. I want every superhero movie in Blu-ray, so I gotta have it the day it comes out.
And I haven't seen either of the new Spider-Mans, so like.
I know Chance is a fan of them, or the first one at least, but I couldn't stand them.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one. I like the first one though, but I mean, it's not like revolutionary. It's not better than 1 and 2 of the whatever ones, Tobey Maguire ones. But it's not better than those. But I mean, I thought it was alright.
Now I will follow Batman anywhere, but I am kind of leery about this Batman versus Superman thing.
This new one, yeah.
But we've spent way too much time on this.
Hey, this is good stuff.
I mean, it's good stuff, but
we're supposed to segue into. He mentioned They Live with Roddy Piper. So now we were talking before this about a wrestling podcast, and Dustin was going to blow our minds with an awesome idea of a show he had back in the day.
Oh, this is not like all my creation. This was me and my good friend Andy. Sitting in a restaurant just spitballing as we ate sandwiches. And we had this idea. This was pre-Hogan Knows Best, by the way. We had this idea of a show. It was kind of like wrestling meets Leave It to Beaver in a way, where it's like this little neighborhood. But the neighborhood is completely populated by wrestlers. Okay? And the central focus was on the Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay, he was the main character. He had a little family.
What made you choose him?
Because he's so ridiculous. Oh, yeah!
It's the freaking Macho Man!
Yeah, I mean, come on.
What reason do you need?
He was married to Miss Elizabeth, and they had some children, and he worked a desk job at, like, I don't know, like an insurance company or something. So he wore his normal leotard, but for some reason, he just had a bow tie on his neck. Like right, where a bow tie should be, and people would be like, Macho, what's that bow tie attached to? My sternum. It's just it was like a clip-on tie attached to his sternum. So anyway, he lived like next door to like Paul Bearer, because we thought it'd be really weird to have like Paul Bearer have a family. So like we had this idea of like a 4th of July episode where the Machos are all out like grilling and making their food, and then like they look over the fence at the Bearers. And, like, they're over there sacrificing a goat, and they just look at Macho, and he's just like, what? This is normal life for us.
You remind me of, like, the Burbs now, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and then, like, not Macho Man, Roddy Piper was, like, the town drunk. So he was just,
I could see that.
Yeah, he's, like, always just, like, stumbling around. And, like, there's one time where he's just, like, laying out in, like, Macho's yard. And Macho came out, he's like, Roddy, why are you out? And the only response is Roddy Piper just laying there drunk as a skunk, passed out, just lifts his left arm and flips Macho Man off. And that's it, And it was, I mean, I wish I could remember all of it, because you have to remember, this is like 10 years ago we created this. But, like, we had, like, all these characters of this neighborhood. And then we saw, like, Hogan's Knows Best come on with, like, fucking Hulk Hogan and his, shitty-ass family running around doing things. And we're like, fuck, someone's listening into our conversations. And I've been convinced ever since that whenever Andy and I get together and spitball ideas, there's some, like, bug around us that is, like, stealing ideas.
Stealing ideas.
We've had it happen a couple of times where it's like we spitball these ideas and all of a sudden on TV it's like a shitty version of what we created.
Well, now we're saying they have that Legends house now on the WWE Network, and that probably does happen on there because all these guys do live in a house, and Roddy Piper's in it, so he probably does pass out drunk in the house somewhere. So
yeah.
I guess I can't get the WWE Network, but I really wish I could because I want to watch that, but I want to watch all the classic stuff from AWA. It's all my favorite stuff. I just like the Mid-South and stuff. All that wrestling is like the best for me. Mid-80s, Mid-South.
Oh, I re-upped my subscription last week, actually, so I'm good for another 6 months, baby.
And how much was it?
It's $9.99 a month.
$9.99.
They have a big promo with that right now, so good one, Chance.
Apparently, like, I read somewhere that, like, WWE and Vince McMahon, like, he lost, like, a third of his fortune thanks to that, like, WWE channel.
He did lose a pretty penny when it first started. Like, there was a big drop. I think it was, like, $750 million or $350. Some number like that. Yeah, it was insane, but he's got enough. He's fine.
Yeah.
And like Joe was saying, they do have all that classic stuff, and they have their underground one. They have this NXT where they develop wrestlers who come into the big time. That is where all the good stuff happens, is on that show, because they actually can wrestle on it. So, anyways, we can talk about games now if you want.
Oh, whatever.
Joe, what's your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time. It's hard, but I'm probably gonna go with Fallout 2.
Fallout 2. Whoa.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, I think like everyone has the idea that it would be a Japanese game, but I actually used to play PC games a ton back in the 90s and earlier. So like I have a ton of like good memories, I guess, revolving around PC games, and Fallout especially is one of those things that like I was super excited about because it was when it came out, it was like one of the few games that was on the Mac that was actually worth playing. So at that time, like the Mac got nothing, and when Fallout came out, I was all over that. So I played Fallout a million times. There's so much stuff in that game to do, and Fallout 2 is just like the better version, I guess.
So, as an old school fan of Fallout, how do you feel about how Bethesda and Obsidian have taken the series?
Well, I think it's weird because if you listen to a lot of people, like people who played like Fallout 3, everyone thinks like, oh, well, Fallout 3 is better than Fallout New Vegas. But if you've played Fallout 1 and 2, like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, obviously they're different, but I think they share a lot of the same types of like mechanics. Like the VAT system is still there, and it makes it it really does kind of feel like a Fallout game still, even though it's totally different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But out of the new ones, I would say that New Vegas is a better game.
Really?
It's just it's much closer to Fallout 1 and 2 than Fallout 3 is.
I have put a lot more time into New Vegas over 3 as well, because I just enjoyed it more.
Really?
Yeah.
Fallout New Vegas not only does it have characters that showed up in the other Fallout games, it's got locations that showed up in the other Fallout games, it's got like it kind of references stuff that happened in the previous games. It's got like more similar systems where like it's not just like a kind of weak karma system. Like, you know how Fallout 3 has like just the karma system, like, and you can kind of game it really easily, give water to that bum all the time, and you've suddenly you're a good guy now. Mm-hmm. Like Fallout New Vegas handles that differently, whereas the karma is kind of important, but it's not as important as like the choices you make. So there's tons of times in like Fallout New Vegas where you'll make a choice in a quest and like suddenly all these other quests are ending like before they started for you because you've cut them off, and it makes you have to go through it a lot. It's like it made the game like a lot more replayable. So I think, I mean, not that Fallout 3 is not replayable, because I think I beat Fallout 3 6 or 7 times, but Fallout New Vegas I probably put more time and more playthroughs into, just because it's more similar. The world is a lot more similar to 1 and 2.
Okay.
It makes sense, though. I mean, yeah. the same people who were working on Fallout 2 and Fallout 1 and stuff worked on Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. I guess, like, because really with the Fallout series, my first experience was 3. And I mean, start to finish, I loved the damn thing. And then, like, New Vegas came out, and it was the bugginess that got me. And, like, I had the game crash on me a few times, and just things would go insane. And eventually, something just drew my attention away from it. So maybe I should just go back and restart
Honestly, did Fallout 3 not crash on you a million times? Because
No, I never had Fallout 3. As far as I can remember, I never had Fallout 3 crash on me.
Really? I mean, yeah. I had Fallout 3 lock up on me a million times. Like,
really?
It was really buggy. And then, like, when I played Fallout New Vegas, it didn't feel any worse. I mean, there was a point where, like, in the beginning, before the first patch, like, there was a point where, like, you couldn't enter Vegas without it freezing, unless you were wearing a special hat.
Oh.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I don't know how somebody figured that out, but it kept freezing for me at that one point, and I was like, well, I guess I gotta wait for a patch to continue playing. And I was like looking online, and someone found like, oh, if you're wearing this one hat, you can get through and it won't freeze.
Well, I was playing through New Vegas on the Master Race, so maybe that's why I wasn't having any problems. Maybe it's all fixed now.
I was on the 360, so. But
yeah,
then
I played on the 360 too, so.
Yeah, I went back and I played Fallout 1, because, of course, it just, I don't know, there's just something about that post-apocalyptic setting that I just love. So I was like, all right, well, I need to go back and check out Fallout 1. And even going back to, like, Fallout 1, after playing all of Fallout 3 and then, about half of New Vegas, I just kind of fell right into Fallout 1 like it was a glove, except for the point-and-click aspect of it.
I was going to ask you guys, how do those play? Because I have those, like, in a Steam bundle I got, but haven't tried them out just because I wasn't sure how they work.
Just take the first-person perspective out of it and make it a third-person kind of point-and-click, like, Baldur's Gate type thing.
Yeah, I think the battles are turn-based, so it's more like it's like a turn-based strategy battle system, kind of. You're like moving along the map, and the enemies move turn by turn.
So are you into the XCOM stuff then too, Joe, or just?
Oh yeah, I love XCOM. I used to play that. That was like another game I used to play on the PC a lot. XCOM. The second one is my favorite one. It's apparently broken, but it's Terrors from the Deep. It's they made the first XCOM, and then Terrors from the Deep came out, and it's like it came out like a year later, and it's like obviously like a cut and paste kind of game, but like they added like that it's not aliens, it's like Cthulhu aliens. They like come from the ocean, and so they all have like kind of Lovecraftian names, and the boss is like a kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like it's all the aliens are coming from the ocean and not from from space.
So what'd you think of that new one then as well, from the transition from the old school to the new school version?
That one is really good. I really like the new XCOM.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
I hope they come out with another one, actually. When the first XCOM came out, I played it over my Christmas break, and then the next one came out a year later, the updated version of it.
Yeah.
Around the same time. So like I'm starting to associate my Christmas break with XCOM.
That's a chance. You guys should give that a try. I know it was free on PlayStation Plus for a while, but I don't think it's there now.
Shit, I missed it.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there like a new Game of the Year or some kind of upgraded edition that's out now?
It did have a huge expansion last year or the year before.
Enemy Within.
Yeah.
You should get that. It's so good. I mean, Enemy Within is like it's the same game. The story is the same, except like it feels like almost a new game because there's a ton of added scenarios, and it's not like scenarios. It's just like added maps, but it adds a ton of stuff, so it feels like a new game, even though it's the same story. It plays like you have all this extra stuff. So even though like I had played through the entirety of the initial version, like when the second one came out, it felt like really new when I was playing it because there's a bunch of new units, a bunch of new upgrades, a bunch of new maps. It didn't feel like I was playing the same game again with like some slight upgrade.
So the Enemy Within edition is what I should look for.
Yeah.
You think you need to have the base copy first or not, though?
No, you don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it.
It was cool because when I was playing through my first time, I was naming people who had been on the podcast, and Dustin was a guy and Chance was, and it had the permadeath, and Chance got killed. He was my heavy gunner.
Oh,
and it was so sad. I was like, no, I think you can play a casual mode where they don't really die all the way, correct, Joe? Like
there's like a bunch of modes and difficulty levels. But like there's Iron Man mode where you can't save, so it's like if somebody dies, like you can't reload the save. They're dead.
And it was a tough mission, so I had to decide whether I wanted to reload or keep Chance abroad. I was like, man, I'm sorry, Chance. I had to let you die off. I wanted to get past the mission.
Sacrificed you, Chance.
You
just
gave up.
Well, do you hear that loyalty, Chance? Good God,
so sad right now.
Well, I had another Paige was my other heavy gunner sitting in the wing, so she replaced you.
Are you Chance? Are you going to take this line down? Fem Trooper replaced you.
A worthy replacement.
There you go.
Yeah.
But excellent game. Like I said, like since you guys are into Valkyria Chronicles and stuff, you're into the strategy shooter type stuff. It's an awesome game.
Yeah. I've thought about picking it up a couple times, but something's always kind of kept me away from it. I don't know what it is, but
you should really play it. It was like so addicted to that. Like it was like I couldn't stop playing it. I was just I'd play like a mission or two, and I'd be like I'm gonna turn this off and go do something else. And like a half hour later, I'd be like I gotta go back to playing some more XCOM.
Yeah. I think the thing that kept me away from it is not so much like the permadeath, because I'm with Fire Emblem. I'm used to that, but it's like. Isn't there something in the game where like if you make certain decisions, like at just some point you just get like a complete game over because you made?
Sort of, but it's not like a single decision. It would be like you have to keep all of the like member countries as part of your the XCOM unit, and if you keep making decisions where like the member countries will leave, you'll get a game over. Like if they all leave, you don't have an XCOM.
You got to keep them happy.
I was gonna say it's pretty obvious, like what choices, or is it not?
Yeah, it's not like arcane choices. Like you have like a list, and you know the happiness level of everybody, and you know like if they're ready to leave or not.
Of course, you're not going to keep everyone happy. There's going to be people who get ticked, but most of the time, it's not. Hopefully, one of the important members.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. But Chance, you were actually playing some Fallout last time we talked. Are you still dabbling in that or no?
I actually haven't played it for a while.
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't necessarily like bored with it or anything. I just moved on to something else and just haven't gone back. But yeah, I played about 6 hours or so of Fallout 3, and I like it. It's definitely going to be something that grows on me the longer I play it. I'm sure of that. But it's taken a little bit to get used to the way things work. But I do really appreciate like the VAT system. I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture that in the old school ones because you guys said that the VAT's still in it, Joe.
Yeah, but it just means that it's turn based essentially. It doesn't. It's not actiony. So like when you get too close to an enemy and they recognize you that you're there, it just kind of turns into a turn based instead of like point and click moving. Okay. So. It's not really it's not anything special. Like it doesn't, like the VAT system in Fallout 3 is like the only reason I can play it really because like I don't like first person shooters, but it doesn't play like a first person shooter at all because like you just turn all of the battles turn into turn based essentially because when you're using VATs, it's just stop, select your attack, and then go.
Yeah, to me, like I don't think you'd have to be pretty good at first person shooters to play that game like a first person shooter.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very unforgiving.
It's hard as balls, like to play that like a straight up first person shooter. But with the VAT system, it turns it into almost not a first person shooter at all, which is it's kind of nice.
Yeah. So what do you think, Joe, about the new setting of what's eventually going to be Fallout 4? I think it's Boston. Is that right?
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know if it's actually true. It's like that's been the rumor forever, though. Yeah. So.
Well, see, I've always thought I always wanted to see what was happening on the East Coast.
Well, I mean, the whole Fallout universe is already kind of mapped out, like what's happening where. I mean, obviously, it's not as detailed for some areas, but like if you read up on it, you kind of know what's happening in. I have a good idea of what's happening there. There's like the kind of Commonwealth that's happening over in the East Coast.
Yeah.
But that I'm pretty excited for that actually, only because I'm originally from Connecticut, so it's like having the Fallout universe in my home area.
Yeah.
When did you go over to Japan?
2005.
Oof,
yeah, like right at the beginning of 2005. So it's almost been 10 years since I've moved here.
Wow.
So when in the middle of high school, you just headed on over, or
no,
you finished it?
No, I was 26 when I moved to Japan.
Oh, okay.
So
that's Steven's way of saying you're a lot older than he thought you were.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
yeah. I'm like, I'll be 36 next month. So.
Wow, I did not. I was minus 10 years is what I was thinking how old Joe was. Man.
Finally, I'm not the oldest person on this damn show.
Well, this will make you feel real old, Joe, because at the college I work at, I was checking an ID the other day. The girl's birthday. Hope you guys still there?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. The girl's birthday, who I'd stopped, 1997. And she's a freshman in college.
That's when I was a freshman in high school.
That makes me feel old, and I'm the youngest one here.
That's actually a year after I graduated high school.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, man, 97.
That was my first year of college, actually. Yeah.
Wow. So Joe's a hip, cool guy. 36-year-old. Cool dude. Nice.
I'm older than all of you.
I was gonna say my uncle used to be my go-to gaming relative. I'd go to his house and he'd have his Sega Genesis and we played some Madden or something together. And he kept gaming well into his mid 40s, and it's kind of slowing down now. But I hope to be getting to my 40s and stuff and still enjoying games.
I thought you were going to start calling him Uncle Joe or something. I thought you were going with that conversation.
Awesome.
I think like primarily as an RPG gamer, I'll be gaming for quite a while, but I could see like action games kind of going by the wayside, but as far as RPGs go, you can kind of play those as long as you can read, you can play those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Especially turn-based. You don't have any type of you don't have to worry about your reflexes slowing down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about we get into some of those questions now?
Okay.
And we want, again, since there's starting to be a bunch, I think you posted something earlier in the week, Dustin, about topics. I'll glance at those too.
Well, yeah, I can bring that back up. I got my iPad
I'm
here.
probably picky and choosy some of these. That way we're not on them forever because we got some things we want to talk about. So. Yeah. But Mike actually asked one of the big questions I wanted to ask. Well, first he says, what do you feel about accidental gamers starting a podcast? Are we feeling threatened by them? And
those cheapskate bastards.
Only if they get paid.
U.S. versus EU battles continue within the podcast. But no, I'm excited because it'll give me something to listen to.
I am totally looking for it because the entire time I watch like those guys do their hour-long videos, I'm like, God, these guys need to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like I would just sit and listen. I could listen to Senkai and Mario talk for just ever because they just have like so many like good back and forths. I don't know.
Package unboxing was very entertaining.
I haven't watched it yet because it's an hour-long video, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Just watch it in sections then, because it's pretty entertaining watching them too.
Yeah.
Through that box. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I don't have too many podcasts to listen to these days. Like I have Joe's, CXG, and then I try to catch Swagman's his podcast once they put theirs up. But man, and some wrestling ones here and there. But there's nothing really out there anymore that I like to listen to. So I'm looking forward to it. But the second big one.
Wait. Chance, how do you feel? Do you feel threatened?
Only if they get paid.
Yeah.
Only if they get paid. Yeah. We don't, like, Steven and I get all the money. We don't pay Chance.
Yeah.
That's how this goes.
No one listens to me anyway.
What about you, Joe? Do you feel threatened by Accent on Gamers doing a podcast? You got a podcast?
No, I mean, I was just complaining recently that I didn't have any gaming podcasts to listen to anymore since, like, there weren't any. So, like, you know, I like the Accent on Gamers channel, so, you know, good that there's another podcast I can listen to because I need something to listen to while I'm at work. So if people make long videos, I'm, like, all excited. So if there's podcasts, that's perfect for me.
And that might have been like one of your most replied posts in a long time too, Joe. Like I think you had like 30 comments on that thing.
Yeah, I think because we started talking about wrestling podcasts.
Yeah. Thoughts on the release of Destiny from the sidelines? I know you guys haven't bought it. Was it overhyped? Are you waiting for the game? Disappointed? Did you get it, Joe, or were you even looking forward to Destiny at all?
God, no. God, no.
I know you loved Halo so much. So, no.
Yeah. Okay. This is like I have all the Halo games, and my friends buy them for me. They like buy them for me, make me play them with them. It's the kind of thing where, like, you know, if your friends are like, oh, you got to get this so we can all play together, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to get it. But, like, if they buy it for you, you kind of feel obligated to play it. Mm-hmm. So, like...
that's why I'm buying Bloodborne for Dustin. So he's kind of...
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it showed up in the mail. All those always show up. And, like, I've actually did play through all of them. I played through Halo 3 and Halo Reach and Halo 4. And, I actually really liked... I didn't play ODST.
You need to play ODST.
Well, I mean, I don't want to buy it. I mean, I don't like...
Buy him a copy and send it to him.
There you go.
Shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, but I actually I liked Halo Reach. I really liked Reach. But I didn't like Halo 3. Didn't like Halo 4. So it was the kind of thing where, like, I don't know what it was about Reach, but I have like nearly all the achievements in that game. Like, there was one that's like get to level 50 or something in online, and that's not going to happen. But everything else I got.
Is it more that you're playing as someone other than Master Chief?
I don't know. It wasn't. I didn't really care. I mean, it wasn't like I was like totally into the story or anything. But it was just the kind of thing where, like, something about it clicked with me, and I liked it.
I don't know, man. I think with like the film noirness of ODST and being a normal soldier, and ODST.
Man, there's like few first-person shooters that I like, though. So it's the kind of thing where when Destiny, like, not even remotely interested, and then like after hearing Arrow like rant about it, he was like going off. So it was the kind of thing where, like, I wasn't interested at all, but, like, now I kind of feel like, well, now I'm wondering why so many other people were interested, because it got, it's not like it got, like, super
he's not the only one going on.
I mean, look at like all the hype and like all the promises that were made, and then like the game comes out and everyone's like, oh, it's just, Borderlands without the craziness,
And from what I've heard, less than Borderlands.
Yeah.
So far.
I mean, like, it was promised to be like the next big thing in gaming, and it's just like, oh, we've already kind of done this.
Well, me and Chance, we both played some of the beta. Right, Chance?
I've heard people like kind of rave about it, though.
Some have.
There've been
Rob Man
Yeah,
loves it
Rob
to
Man.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every one of his posts is like how he's got so many, so much Destiny. Like,
Chance, you really enjoyed it from the beta, correct? Like, you had a blast with it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Was like I thought it was way overhyped from the beginning. I didn't see what everyone else saw in the hype, so I was pretty uninterested in it, from the start. But then I played the beta and I really liked it. But most people were pretty lukewarm on it. And then now it's out and everybody hates it. I'm still thinking, well, I liked the beta enough probably to still buy it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those weird things.
I was
It's
one of the lukewarm ones. Sorry, I was one of the lukewarm ones. And then once all this stuff came out with it, it really like again. I'm going to get it, and it seems like a bunch more. It's like what Alex had said to us. Maybe like a Game of the Year edition later on when everything is
yeah.
out might be the one to get. But it is like you were saying, Dustin. It seemed like a lot of broken promises, and I know I really did overhype myself a bunch. It's not what
I
I
did too.
expected it to be. And when I get down to another question that's down here further, I will tell you what I thought this would be and what would be the perfect game that Destiny should have been. But when we get later down the road, but yeah, I was disappointed with a lot of what I'm hearing from people. Some people, the ones who are
Well,
saying it's so good, I'm kind of thinking like, you're in the minority, so who should I really listen to here?
well, they're
But
already like making cheap ways to get the game too. Like if you buy like the Xbox 360 or PS3 version, like you can upgrade to the PS4 or Xbox version for free already.
Hmm.
I know they had that with Battlefield 4, so that was kind of nice of them to do that.
It's like so you only have to buy it on the one console if you don't have one of the next gen consoles yet, and then as soon as you get the next console, you have Destiny for free. So I was like, wow, that's interesting.
But just from, have you looked at any gameplay or just looked at any reviews or anything, Dustin? Because from what I see, it's just a lot of rinse and repeat is what I keep hearing. You rinse and
Yeah,
repeat, and
I was one of those people that was super hyped for it because I do think Bungie creates like just fantastic worlds.
oh yeah,
I love the Halo series because I love unraveling like the mythos of it. And just looking at Destiny, you're like, oh, holy crap, they're doing it again. This is going to be amazing. And then the beta came out. And I didn't personally play the beta because I'm not a big like beta person. I just, whatever, I'll wait for the completed game. But the reviews and like just the people talking about the beta and how like, I don't want to say boring, but just like mediocre it was. And I was like, okay, well, this is just a beta. Let me just wait and see. And then the actual game came out, and everyone's just like, meh.
Well, there
And
wasn't
I'm
that
like,
much time between the beta, like the open beta,
yeah,
and then the release date. It's like, how could they possibly upgrade that much unless they
yeah,
just
like,
weren't putting final things into it? They're like, okay, well, here's the beta, but it's nothing like the game. But in turn, it
well,
wasn't like that.
and that's a very good point, Chance, because it's like the discs were already probably pressed by then. So in some
Yeah,
ways, I feel like the released version is just the beta. And like
yeah.
whatever feedback they got from the beta is going to be some DLC thing later down the road to improve it. So for me, I'm waiting on the Game of the Year edition or waiting for it to drop below $20.
that's
So
about
Well,
where I'm at. Yeah,
it
yeah,
could happen sooner than later.
sooner than later, yeah.
it sold like hotcakes, so they're not
And
hurting. Yes.
I was actually reading an interesting article because apparently part of Bungie's deal with Activision was based on the Metacritic score.
Ooh.
And if they didn't get like a Metacritic score of over like 95 or something, they lost out on like $2.5 million.
Wow.
So there's like literally no way Bungie is getting that $2.5 million. So
I would I
whatever,
would say
yeah.
not.
So
Go ahead, Dustin.
I'm just wondering, like, because part of that bonus that they're supposed to get paid was part of what Bungie originally asked Activision for the development of the game. So I wonder, like, if Destiny won't like close, because we see studios closing all the time. Could we actually see the end of Bungie because of Destiny? I guess we'll have to wait and
Ooh,
I
see, but.
I don't.
I
I
believe
would
it.
think so, but man,
I hope not, but
yeah.
I wouldn't be
I mean, if that was
surprised.
part of their if that was part of their original budget that they said they needed for the game, I mean,
they gave them 500 million. Crap.
I mean,
what else they need?
I was going to say like an extra 2.5 million. I mean, maybe in lieu of 500 million for the fucking game, which they turn into this. I mean, you wouldn't think 2.5 million could really make or break a studio, but that could be like the payroll. You know what I mean?
Could,
like maybe that 500 million went all into the development.
And I'm thinking that 500 million is going to be like some of the extra stuff, because what is out there cannot be a $500 million game.
Well, exactly, and
yeah,
I mean, like that 500. You look at Destiny and the reviews it's getting in that 500 million, and then you look at something like Tales of Exilia 2, or even Danganronpa 2, and because those are two things I'm playing right now. Those budgets probably nowhere even near that, and I'm having like so much more fun playing that than I probably would have with Destiny. So it's kind of a weird thing.
Well, since we're on it, I'll skip down to that question where if you put it on Facebook, I'm sorry because I'm going to be using your real name, your first name at least. Travis, he asked, "What is your best turn-based strategy RPG? What you think MMO games bring to the gaming world? Do you consider them a hindrance?" That's where I kind of want to focus at with what I was going to say. If I think MMOs are a hindrance, and what do they bring to the gaming world? No, because I love a good MMO when it's done right. And this is what I thought Destiny could have brought to us, where it wouldn't have been a hindrance. This is what I hoped it would be. Now picture this. I was thinking something more along the lines like a Mass Effect type of battle system, more of a RPG-based, skill-based system. To have an MMO work, you got to give us some skills to work with. And it looks like in Destiny, you barely have any skills to work with. You're very limited on the skills you can use. So if you have a Mass Effect system with a cross wheel, where you're able to interact with the other characters if they need ammo or healing just by selecting them on the wheel and pushing a button, that's what you need. And I'm just sitting here thinking, imagine like Dustin, me, Chance, or Joe, we're all in our spaceship, a Normandy, and we decide we want to go explore a planet, so we go to it. We drop on the planet, and it's a huge planet for us to explore. Destiny is not like that.
Dustin's washing dishes again.
I'm not washing dishes. I'm really. God damn it! I'm refilling my pure water filter jug.
Pitcher.
Right in the middle of my story. So
you know what? You're talking about Destiny. I got bored.
He was bored.
I refilled the pure water jug.
Well, this picture, we drop down this planet, and it's one of many planets we get to explore. We have a map laid out that lets us pick one to go on, and it's wide open. You just go explore it. We see these ruins off in the distance that we go in. Then all of a sudden there's this huge elite guarding a mythical door we can go through if we kill them. We kill the elite with teamwork and hard work. We down him. We get the piece of gear that drops from him. We go through this door that has map systems of more planets we can explore that aren't even listed. And that's what I thought Destiny was going to be. I think Destiny's 4 planets. And
then
it.
Instead of exploring those other planets, we spend the next 40 hours trying to get a mount.
Yes, our ship mounts. We go do that, and then that's just what I was picturing. So I was thinking something like maybe what No Man's Sky is supposed to do, mixed with Destiny or Mass Effect 4 combat. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's not what Destiny is. So that would be a blast to me. But I don't think they're a hindrance if people do them right, because there aren't that many good ones out there. So, anybody else?
I would say that if anything is a hindrance, it would be that in a game like Destiny, the way it is now, it really takes away from a single player type experience too, because it's so boring. The only way you can have fun with it is with other people. I mean, for me personally, it's like I would probably like to split my time, maybe go around and do some things by myself, but also play with friends too. So it's like for Bungie to make a game that is so, dependent on interaction, with other people to be any good is I don't know, kind of a hindrance to me, I guess. But it's because maybe I wanted it to be more like a Halo game, and I know that's not what it was supposed to be. But because it's Bungie, that's the way my brain works, I guess. I don't know.
Did you play any MMOs, Joe?
Not recently, but before I moved to Japan, like, I played World of Warcraft for a couple months. Like, it didn't come out, like, it came out, like,
04,
right before I was moving.
Yeah.
So I played, like, for 3 months maybe, and then I moved to Japan and I stopped playing. But before that, I used to play Lineage also. But those are really old. I mean, that's like 2001 or something that I was playing Lineage. No, maybe it was 2003. I don't remember. Around then. It's old. But I haven't played any MMOs since then. I think, like, I kind of see maybe the kind of thing he's asking about with, like, MMOs being a hindrance is, like, not so much, like, I don't see how, like, something like World of Warcraft is a hindrance, but, like, maybe something like the Elder Scrolls Online is kind of a hindrance, or that Star Wars MMO that they have is kind of a hindrance in the sense that, if they put the effort they put into, like, the Elder Scrolls MMO into, like, making another Elder Scrolls game, maybe, we would have another one instead of, like, this MMO that nobody wants to play. Or like, the Star Wars thing, 14. Too. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 or Dragon Quest 10. Jesus. Yeah.
Well, who knows about Dragon Quest 10? I think people actually want to play it. It's just...
Well, yeah, I would like to play it, but at the same time, I'm like, an MMO versus a single-player RPG. I'd rather have the single-player RPG.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really like playing RPGs with other people. I'd rather just play by myself.
Yeah.
See that and go ahead.
What I was thinking is that, like, would you rather have had... I mean, they were saying, before that Star Wars RPG was released, they were saying, like, it has enough content to be, like, 3 or 4 full games, like Knights of the Old Republic. So, like, would you rather have had, like, another trilogy, a full trilogy of Knights of the Old Republic games come out, or that Star Wars MMO? Yeah, I know, it's an easy answer there. That's
Let me
thing.
think about that one for a second.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing where, like, the MMO could kind of be a hindrance in that sense, because, like, it's not like they're going to put out another Knights of the Old Republic game now that MMO is out.
Well, I'm going to pick 2 more from this list so we can move on to some more topics. And one of them will be, that kind of connects to this because I want to mention it in a game. From Scott, upcoming games of 2014 and 15 you guys are looking forward to. Just name 2 or 3 if you want, and I can name mine. Since we were speaking of MMOs and doing them right and not being a hindrance, what may actually get me to buy a PS4 now, which I would have never thought this in my life, before watching a lot of footage on it the past couple of days, is The Crew. The Crew is just looking like the perfect racing game that I've always wanted and needed, since I love Need for Speed. The aspect of running around just with your friends, driving across the country, just doing whatever you want. It seems like more of an MMO open world because more cars are going to be in there you can just run into all the time. That game is just looking awesome to me now. So The Crew is one I'm really looking forward to. The new Lord of the Rings game, Shadows of Mordor. Looking forward to that one. And easy cop-out, Bloodborne for 2015. Next,
I guess I'll go. I got a bunch of stuff.
Only 2 or 3.
Yeah, shut up. I don't know. Like, obviously, Persona 5. I don't know when it's coming now, but it was supposed to be out in December, so I'm a little salty. But I'm glad it's coming on the PS4. So I guess 2015 for that. The new Yakuza game, Yakuza 0, I guess.
You're not allowed to mention anything from here on out that won't come over here, so you got to say.
Well, it might come out. You never know.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but possible. I'm hoping Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem will come out eventually.
That seems like forever ago. That's not even out over in Japan yet? What is going on?
No, there has been no news on it since the initial announcement.
Wow.
Obviously, Bloodborne. I'm going to play it this weekend. Are you jealous, Steven?
I'm not speaking. Go ahead.
Totally.
You're part of the alpha test?
No. It's there's a playable demo at Tokyo Game Show. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. There's stuff for the Xbox One. I don't have one yet, but like Phantom Dust and Scalebound, I'm pretty excited for. That Shadow of Mordor game looks good. Shadow of the Beast. I hope that comes out eventually.
Devil's Third. Come on,
Devil's
man.
Third. I'm totally gonna buy Devil's Third. You and I are gonna be the only two people online playing it.
Probably.
But I'll have my realistic cat head armor or whatever. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that's upcoming, especially for the PlayStation 4. There's a ton of new stuff coming, which is, at least nice because, currently there's almost nothing for any of the next-gen systems, really, or the current-gen systems or whatever. There's not a ton of stuff coming out for any of them right now, but starting from, October or so, it starts to pick up for at least the PS4. And I guess and the Xbox One in that case. Sadly, not the Wii U.
Well, the Wii U has one for Dustin.
Well,
yeah, it does have one for me, but that's probably gonna be more. God, it's probably gonna be more 2015 than anything.
Oh yeah, 15 counts though.
Yeah. What does the Wii U? What does the Wii U have coming, Dustin?
I'm gonna do Dustin's list for him.
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay,
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be one of yours, Dustin. You're also gonna say
Fatal Frame 5 is coming next week.
What's that?
Fatal Frame 5, the new Fatal Frame game.
Before we started this podcast, I was actually looking at my games to figure out, because in October, late September, October, I want to do a bunch of horror games. And I was sitting here looking at Fatal Frame 1, 2, and 3 sitting there for my PlayStation 2, and I was like, I need to start one of those. So Fatal Frame 1 sometime this holiday season.
Yeah, get on that.
I recommend Condemned Bloodshot.
That's a good game too.
Or Condemned Criminal Origins, the first one. I'm sorry.
Which one is that on? Is that on
Xbox?
360. It's on the 360.
I got Criminal Origins on 360. Yeah. I actually, my Game Informer just came today, and it's the big horror issue, and it had the top 25 horror games of all time in it, according to them.
I didn't check my mail today. Crap! I need to go see if it's in there. That's awesome.
I disagree with the placement of number 1 and 2, but that's just me. So
okay.
I'll leave that to the listeners to decide.
Yeah.
Because I personally think number 2 is a scarier game than number 1, but whatever.
You'll let the viewers pick, or the listeners put a list of 5 games on the fan page. See what horror game you should play. I recommend Criminal Origins.
That's really short though. You could beat that in a day or two.
I recommend PT. God, if you haven't downloaded PT yet, that thing is fucking nuts.
I bet. Just from what I've seen, it just looks.
There's one spot where I was if I was playing that, my friend Ernie played it at night with headphones on, and he's like, dude, don't do it that way. Do not do it that way. So I didn't. I played it full daylight with light coming in through the sliding door into my living area there. And still, I got to this one point, and I was like, what the fuck? I just threw the controller down. I had to walk away from it for a second.
Criminal Origins has one of the freakiest scenes ever to me. If Joe remembers the mannequin area, that room actually did freak me out when it happened.
Yeah.
So that game is really good. It is essentially a virtual hobo beating simulator. It's not. I mean, that's essentially what it is. I mean, you just all you're doing is picking up pipes and beating up rabid hobos. But it's so creepy. It's creepy in the same way that the PT demo is creepy, in the sense that the atmosphere of it is really weird.
Yeah.
So it's not really supernatural though. I mean, there's kind of an element, but it's.
I mean,
it's really weird though.
That moment in PT where you walk by the radio and it says "turn around." I said "turn around," and you're like, "Fuck! I do not want to turn."
You don't want to turn around. You
do not want to turn around. But I don't want to ruin it what happens after. But because that moment is so tense, you're like, God, because it's right after something big happens, and you're like, what are they going to do to top that? And then they do something, and it's just that terror of do I want to turn around?
So when you push pause and you think about it, what should I do here?
I sat the controller down, I hit pause, and I went and peed.
And then while you're turning, you kind of squint.
And then I came back and turned around and continued on with the game. But I'm not going to tell you what happens, if anything happens. But, you know, it's just like, you're just like, oh, fuck, come on. Yeah, that PT. I mean, it's got me filled with hopes for Silent Hills. It really does. As much trepidation as I had in my game discussion video, like now I'm just looking forward to Silent Hills with reckless abandon.
So, any more upcoming games for you?
For me, there's a ton.
I was going to go to Dustin. Sorry,
I'll let Dustin go.
Of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Actually, opening up the Game Informer, there's a big full-page spread for Hyrule Warriors, which I know Joe is going to run out and get.
It's already out. It's been out for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, over in Japan.
Yeah. But after Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3, I'm totally looking forward to that. Just to see what they do with it. If they do anything crazy with it or not. Other than that, let's see. For the remainder of 2014, Persona Q. After beating Persona 4, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to Persona 5. And the PS4, when they announced PS4, I was like, fantastic. Really, there's nothing much I'm looking forward to this year that I can remember. Like, 2014 is kind of a dead year. Everything's like 2015. I'm really looking forward to the new Ys game. It's going to be on PS4. But I'm really bad about this. Like, I really don't pay attention to, like, game releases that much. Like, it's like the month of, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go out and get that game.
I'm getting that way too. Unless it's the month of, it's...
Yeah, it just kind of blanks in my head.
There's a bunch of stuff coming out this year, though. Like Alien Isolation comes out in a week or two.
October, right? Or September?
Yeah, the first week of October, I think. And that Shadow of Mordor comes out in a week, right?
Yep, it's next week.
So what is it about Shadow of Mordor that's got everybody so, like, gun crazy?
I think it's that the dynamic system with the special bosses, like, is really... sounds really cool to everybody. Like, there's that thing where, like, the bosses there's, like, all these kind of, like, boss characters kind of wandering around, and they're different all the time, and they kind of react to how you fight them. Like, they change. They'll gain special abilities. If they kill you, they'll, like, gain some abilities, and they kind of dynamically change as you play the game.
Yeah, if you kill another boss character, it could affect the other one, and you can recruit some to fight kind of with you until you decide you want to kill them. Like, it's kind of crazy. And then the combat just looked fun as crap, man. Like, it carries over the Batman Arkham kind of system.
Yeah.
Just looks really fun. So, Chance, what about you, man?
Well,
you're a Vita owner, and I haven't heard you mention too many Vita games this year. So, any Vita stuff coming out, or what?
You know, it's funny because I just don't buy that many new releases.
Yeah.
I mean, period. I was looking through my collection, and I have, like, I think just 2 for the year so far. I could be wrong, but I think it's just 2. It's Mario Kart 8 and Wolfenstein New Order. That's it. So... Yeah. I'm sitting here looking at the list, and there's a couple.
And his wife bought one of them, so he didn't even buy that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Persona Q, but I don't know if I'll buy it right away. Just because I'm hungry for another Etrian Odyssey type experience, and I hear that that's a pretty good way to go.
It's definitely a lot like Etrian Odyssey is.
Okay, good. Well, that's you've like played it and beaten it, haven't you?
Yeah, I played it through it twice.
Oh, so yeah, okay. Well, good.
It's a lot more like Etrian Odyssey than like Persona.
Okay, well, I like Persona 2 now, but I'm still just barely dipping my toes into the universe. So to hear that it's more like Etrian Odyssey is a good thing. But I'm just hoping that it doesn't like ruin anything Persona wise for me. Like, if I play it before I finish, say, Persona 3 or 4.
It's not going to ruin the endings of any of the games, because, like, chronologically it takes place before the ending of both games.
Okay.
So the characters can't spoil anything at the end, because they don't know what's happening yet.
I probably just won't understand, like, references and things like that, which is fine.
Yeah, it's that. That's probably, like, the only thing you'll miss out on if you haven't played both Persona 3 and Persona 4. And also, if for example, if you play Persona Q and you select the main character as for example, for Dustin, if he selects the Persona 4 main character as the main character for Persona Q, you probably won't miss much because most of the kind of jokes and references will be from Persona 4.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, then maybe I'll try to finish. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, then I can replay it after I play Persona 3 and then see it from the Persona 3 perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just try to finish Persona 3 before I get that. Because, like I said, I probably won't get it right when it comes out. Maybe after the first of the year, hopefully it'll, drop down to $25, $30, and I can grab it then. But I really don't care. Of course, Halo 5 eventually, when that decides to be a thing, and I decide to purchase an Xbox One. I was hopeful for maybe getting one by the end of the year, but it's probably not going to happen. That's all right, because like you pointed out in the last episode, I've gotten 2 new consoles this year anyway, so I don't have much room to complain. I also Gauntlet, the new reboot of the classic Gauntlet series comes out like the 23rd or something this month on Steam, and I really, really want to play that, but I'm not positive I have a PC that will even run it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I haven't seen much about that Gauntlet game. Which Gauntlet does it play like?
It looks like a completely rebooted version of classic arcade Gauntlet, like Gauntlet 1 or 2. So like the look and style of it is more similar to, say, like a Diablo 2 as opposed to like a Gauntlet Legends.
But, so it's more like classic Gauntlet than like Dreamcast Gauntlet or whatever arcade Gauntlet, the later 90s Gauntlet.
It kind of looked more like straight up top down almost.
Yeah, it's pretty. I would compare it more closely to the arcade, but still retaining like newer ideas, newer things, like character abilities and things like that. It's not straight up just attack or use potion like the arcade Gauntlet. It's a little bit more than that, but it's probably a lot. It's probably going to end up playing a lot like a Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, real in actuality. But but the way it looks and it's definitely got a lot of throwbacks to arcade Gauntlet, which I'm thoroughly excited about because I've always loved Gauntlet. It's one of my favorite games.
If it doesn't have the same announcer, no buy.
That Red Warrior has shot the food.
Someone shot the food.
I'm really excited for that too, just because I've been on a huge dungeon crawler kick recently.
Like, hopefully, if I'm able to run it, then you and I can play it because that'll be a lot of fun. Because
what worries me though, go ahead.
I would say it definitely looks like it's kind of pivoting on it being a lot more fun with more people, of course.
Yeah.
Like, as all of the gameplay trailers and pictures you see have all 4 characters utilized at the same time. So it's definitely going to be a multiplayer kind of game, I think. But I think it'll be enjoyable as a single player game too.
Yeah, and I've been playing some good ones right now. So the only thing I'm worried is it's not going to be as good as them.
That might be something that I think it's going to be like back to basics kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as immersive as like a Diablo game where you have all these different things. I don't know how much equipment customizable kind of things you'll be able to have. I don't know any like the details. I don't know like how many different spells you can learn or different abilities. I don't know how big the game is, but just from what I'm seeing in the trailer, and I've been watching the trailers for what feels like a year now, but I don't think it's been that long. Maybe just 6 or 8 months. I've just loved what I'm seeing, so I can't wait for it to come out.
Anything else on your list then?
I don't know.
That's fine.
Of course, Doom whenever that comes out, but I'm not sure that'll even be a 2015 release. Because literally still see nothing except that CG trailer that came out like E3 time. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold my breath for 2015 for that. But yep, that's all that like jumps out at me right away.
We'll finish off the question portion. Sorry for everyone who asked other ones, but we're going to move on from them. But the final question will be a quick one because only 2 of you will be able to answer it probably. From Ty Kim. If you were poisoned and your lower parts were swelling up, which Danganronpa 1 or 2 character would you ask to suck the poison out? And I'll go with whatever Dustin says.
Oh, fantastic. Crap. I can't. Let me think about this real quick. Actually, I'm assuming the other person will be Joe, because I'm assuming you've played both of them.
I haven't.
Oh.
I've only played the first one on the PSP, and it was like a long time ago. I don't actually remember the character names.
Yeah.
Well, Dustin, there you go. You're the lone one here.
Oh, god damn it! That's such a pervy question, and like, it's a thing, like, you know, because
he's all singled out on it now.
I know, and I was like, I posted on the AGP page earlier about like the fan service that's in the second one, because the second one goes a little bit far in some regards with its fan service, you know, and I just wanted to see what people thought about it.
You cannot answer. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a weird question. None, because they're all cartoon characters. Is that a good?
Good try, Ty Kim. Sure.
Ty Kim is Orekan on YouTube.
Yeah.
So just mentioning him. Check out his channel.
It's got a 3 in there, so
yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I was looking forward to him putting out more of his PSP collection stuff. I haven't seen one in a while since he did one. And then he changed his profile picture, so now I'm confused. But yeah, I know it's him. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to some topics that we wanted to kind of speak on. First thing I want to ask you, Dustin, because you posted a lot of things on it on the page, a lot of Dragon Quest stuff. What's some Dragon Quest updates you can give us? What's been going on?
Yeah, there's Operation Hero that's doing its best to try to persuade Square Enix to bring the stuff over. Supposedly, Square Enix is like, we're thinking about it, which means, fuck you guys, we're not going to do it. And supposedly, Operation Rainfall is now throwing their full weight behind Operation Hero. Because, you know, everything has to be called Operation nowadays. So, who knows? I don't think we'll see Dragon Quest X. I think honestly, if we see Dragon Quest X, I'll just go crazy, because it's an MMO. There's so much they have to do to bring it over here. I think the better bet is to get the 3DS titles like Dragon Quest VII, you know, the remake of Terry's Wonderland, that kind of stuff over here. But supposedly, Square Enix has said the next Dragon Quest, which is going to be 11, is going to be on the consoles. So I'm assuming PS4 and Xbox One, if they decide to go that route too. Or maybe Wii U. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? I don't know if their Nintendo deal is still in effect. But supposedly that's going to get some kind of release over here. They're thinking about really bringing it out in the West again. And I've been playing Dragon Quest 1 on my iPhone and having fun with that. So,
do you think if Sony got a deal with them, it would give them a better chance of making their way over here?
I mean, the Wii U numbers are bad.
They did such a great job with the DS ones, like 4, 5, 6, 9.
But 6 and 9 were Nintendo helped out with that.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 and 5 were Square Enix alone, and 6 and 9 were with Nintendo's help. I honestly, I don't see why I mean, I know the script for 7 is huge. I mean, somebody posted a picture of the script for the PS1 copy of it. It's like 5 binders or something full of text. But
still, someone paid me to do it. I'd do it. Like, okay.
Yeah, and I mean,
Joe, get on that, man. Get on that.
I was going to say, come on, Joe. In my view, the 3DS titles are kind of a safe bet because, I mean, look at the success of Bravely Default, you know, and
I thought 7 was going to be for sure. I can't believe it didn't come.
And the thing that drives me nuts is like you look at like Atlas and you look at NIS and you look at like all these other like niche little companies and just the sheer amount of RPGs they bring over here, and it's like Square Enix couldn't do like a limited print run of Dragon Quest VII over here, you know?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? It's just it's a weird thing. Like this big company can't handle the load, and maybe it's just my not understanding how these companies work. But the big company, the big corporation can't handle the load, but these little companies can. It's just kind of a weird thing.
Maybe it's a thing where they put in full voice acting or something, and I don't even care. Leave Japanese voice acting. Just give me English text.
I don't think Dragon Quest VII has voice acting. The 3DS one, I don't think so.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I could be.
I thought they were overhauling all that stuff. So.
Yeah, but I don't think Dragon Quest would ever have voice acting. Well, I mean, 8
does. Yeah.
8 did. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, leave that. I mean, it's like shit. What was the there's one coming over here. It's one of the Tales games. I can't remember. What is it? Tales of
Hearts.
Tales of Hearts. They're not even like voice translating it. They're just subtitling the entire game, and I'm totally fine with that. That's fine. Just do that.
You know what though? You know what's crazy is that's coming over here, and you probably wouldn't know it was coming unless you saw the article saying it was coming, because there's nothing on it anywhere. Like, they don't promote these things. Yeah. How are people supposed to know about their games if they're not talking about them? That's before the end of the year, man. It's coming up close.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like you look at like Destiny, and it's like how big their advertising
it was everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere. And then like a great game like I don't know. Let's pick something. Let's look up here and pick something.
I mean, even like a little advertisement on an IGN page somewhere, like just have it on the side, like a picture. Yeah, I mean, something. Let people know your game's coming.
I don't know. I mean, so that's, as far as I know, which, I mean, I don't like, I don't scour the internet for Dragon Quest news all the time. I leave that to Saigon Cat, and then I just watch him and see what's going on. But that seems to be where we're at now, just kind of in a waiting game to see if this petition and bombarding all of Square Enix posts about Dragon Quest VII will actually work. So,
since we kind of mentioned Tales of Hearts, how is the Tales series over there on your side, Joe? Is it really huge, like just under Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, or?
It's pretty big. I mean, it sells like pretty well when it comes out, when titles come out, and I think like Xillia did really well when it came out. So I mean, which is probably why they came out with Xillia 2 really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's already a bunch of advertising going on for the next one. So. Yeah. It's a pretty big series. It usually sells like I don't really know, a couple 100,000 in the first week. So that's like pretty big numbers for Japan. You know what I mean? Like even the biggest games don't usually sell like. I mean, if you're Final Fantasy or something, you'll sell like over 1 million in the first week. But like other than that, not many titles do that.
Yeah. How far behind are we over here with Tales? Are we pretty much caught up with Xillia? I think they have the Zynga or something with
Zestria is coming out.
Zestiria or whatever.
Zestiria, yeah. But I mean, like the handhelds, we're not getting a lot of the handheld remakes.
Handhelds.
Yeah, but it's weird how like Final Fantasy takes for fucking ever to come out. I mean, and Dragon Quest has kind of dried up. So really, other than like Shin Megami Tensei, which is still kind of a niche thing, I mean, Tales is kind of the premier series over here in the West in a lot of ways.
I think Bandai Namco has been doing great bringing over stuff over here. I mean, they're bringing out One Piece limited games. They're bringing out all sorts of stuff now these days from over there. So it's pretty awesome. I'm really liking what Bandai Namco's been doing here as a publisher. It's been awesome. Chance, you were dabbling into some Dragon Quest. How was the progress been in that, man?
Which one?
9.
Oh, no, I actually haven't played 9 since the last time I talked about it on the podcast. I got right up to the final dungeon, kind of, and I don't know, kind of petered out and haven't played.
Oh, sad face.
I know.
Man.
That's how I go with RPGs, I guess.
Well, what was that post you wanted to talk about, Dustin? That was on Joe's page about Game Crash.
Well, yeah, Joe was mentioning something about a perceived gaming crash. Apparently, because the new systems don't have this deluge of games coming out. I mean, literally, you look at every system that's out: the PS4, the Xbox One, Wii U, 3DS, Vita. I mean, here, and I think that's the problem. Is like here in the West, it's like nothing. But then, like we all kind of watched Sony's Japanese press conference, and it's like, holy shit, where is all this stuff at? And Joe's.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of, we just missed it. Like, there's a Square Enix show right now. We missed.
Well, that's the thing about Square Enix anymore. Like, I'm not even like really excited about Square Enix anymore, and that's sad.
It was their show. Whose show was it, Joe? You would probably know.
I don't know.
Oh, never. Okay.
But that's like the sad thing is like back in the day, like in the Super Nintendo era and like the PlayStation era, anytime like a Square or an Enix title was announced, I was like, oh my god, And then now it's like it's a Square Enix title. I'm like, well, all right, whatever, It's sad how when the two companies went together, they were kind of less than what they were before in some ways.
Well, and correction, this is Sony's PlayStation Live event on IGN right now. So.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I'll just check out the news site recap later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what made you bring? Is that what triggered this thing or did you read something somewhere, Joe, where someone had posted something about this? You don't have to mention names.
On the the Excellent Gamers page, there was something about like what it actually was about that video by that Boogie guy, whatever his name is, like Francis. He does that Francis character, and he posted a video on YouTube. He's like a huge YouTuber. I don't know what his name is. It's like Boogie something and a bunch of numbers. But yeah, it was the kind of thing where like people, and it just made me think about like the kind of game crash kind of idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys watched the AVGN movie too, was talking about it recently too. It was part of the story of that movie, but like the thing with it is like it's not something that actually happened. It's like a popular gaming myth that people have kind of brought to this legendary status of like E.T. killed the gaming industry or whatever. And like the thing with it is that like that gaming crash, if you could see me, I'm doing air quotes. The thing with it is that like at that time when was the gaming crash supposed to be? 1983? Like look at 1983. Yeah, even then 85 would be wrong, I think.
Yeah, because that's when Nintendo came out. Yeah,
that's when the NES started coming out here in the States.
In 83 there was like so much stuff going on, like look in Europe, that's like where the like all the personal computer stuff, like the what's it called, the ZX Spectrum and stuff. The Amiga also was in the US too, but you had like the Commodore 64, you had the Famicom came out in 1983.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think that's a crash, you're sadly mistaken. It's like only was a thing related to sales of Atari games in the US. That's not a crash. That's just like a bad stroke of luck for Atari.
But didn't it affect like the Intellivision, the Coleco? I mean, as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like the Intellivision and the Coleco were even like widely sold. They were like almost regional to a point.
George Plimpton was selling the Intellivision. How could that not? How could that be a big seller?
Okay, but at that time, you could find Intellivision in every store. You could find Atari at Sears. You couldn't but you couldn't buy Intellivision there. I'm from Connecticut, and I don't think like you could get a ColecoVision at every store. And I mean, Coleco is essentially, the name has Connecticut in it. It's it's the kind of thing where like,
they should have just been handing that shit out at gas stations.
That's what I'm saying, man. But like nobody had those systems either. Like when I was a kid, everybody had an Atari 2600, and every once in a while, somebody like one or two people had like the oddball person had like an Intellivision or a Coleco.
Yeah.
But like the Atari was the main thing. Everybody knew Atari, and and I understand like why the Atari model didn't really work out. The Atari 2600 came out in 1977 or something. Like by 1983, people are not like are kind of tired of it. There's only so much you can do for it.
People are getting tired of systems now after like 4 or 5 years. Like no one wants to have patience though now these days with stuff.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The thing with that is like, yeah, the Atari 2600 was out for like 6 years, but like it's not like current systems where the graphics were really pushed or they could do anything really more with it. And people just got tired of it. But that doesn't like equate to an entire video game industry crash. I mean, even the arcades were booming at that time.
Did this post from this guy come after the Xbox sales in Japan? Is that what made him put that
I don't know. No, I don't know what it was, actually. I don't know what I think it was just because of that Boogie video on YouTube.
What? I was going to say, yeah, because the Boogie guy, I wonder if he did it after the Xbox sales. Like, wasn't it pretty bad over there?
It was pretty awful. But the thing with it is like, I know with the Xbox sales, like the Xbox, for example, the Xbox One, not the Xbox One, the original Xbox, sold fucking Xbox One. The original Xbox sold about 120,000 in the first week, and the Xbox 360 sold about 60,000, and now like the Xbox One sold about 30. So like it's like by the generation, it's just halving. But the thing with the Xbox One is that like people were speculating it was going to sell less than 10,000, like because these kind of like early rankings came out for the sales and like no Xbox games were on it. From Staya puts up Staya is like kind of video and game. It's like a Blockbuster Video almost. But they have like they put out like a weekly game ranking and no Xbox games were on it. But it turns out like I actually have one right near my house, so they aren't selling the Xbox One. It's not even sold there. So
and PS4 had how much of a leap over the Xbox One over there?
In time or sales?
In times, like almost a year,
8 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out. The PlayStation 4 came out in February.
There, okay. How did? Oh yeah, that was a weird thing. Like we got the PS4 here before Japan. That seems so strange.
Yeah, there's still not really any games for it though.
Yeah.
For like the Japanese market is what I mean. There's not like a ton of stuff that like is really Japanese focused for the PS4 until later this year and next year.
How many bundles of a Monster Hunter 5 PS4 bundle would sell over there? Would that move like a million consoles?
It would probably move a lot of consoles. The thing is like the PS4 is like selling nothing in Japan right now. It's selling less than the Wii U.
Interesting.
It's just the kind of thing. It's just because there's no games. I mean, Japan is like really like that in the sense that they won't buy it unless there's games. Obviously, there are people who will buy it on the first week, but for anything. But unless you have something to buy, like people aren't gonna buy it. And I think like once games start coming out, it'll pick up. But like the US is not like that. Whereas like if it's not doing good immediately, people write it off as garbage. And you can see that. You can see that with the Vita. You can see that with even stuff like the Wii U, where like people have kind of written it off because it's not selling well.
What do you think it is over there, since you're in the meat of it? Like with games like Monster Hunter are so huge over there. Why us over here in the States? I mean, there is a market for it. Me, Dustin, we enjoy those. I don't know if Chance has dabbled into any of them yet, or games like that. What is it what's the appeal over there and why it's not appealing over here? Do you know what it is? Or
I have no idea. I think it's just like the kind of mentality of the gamer, I guess. It's not like it's the kind of thing where people just like that kind of thing. And it's weird because like with
I mean,
Monster
it's huge
Hunter,
over there though, and it's like nothing here. There's got to be something.
well, like with Monster Hunter, it started because like it was popular to meet up with a couple people and just play Monster Hunter together via your kind of ad hoc play on the PSP.
Yeah,
and like that kind of thing. I mean, there was stuff like that for Dragon Quest too, where like I don't remember Dragon Quest 9, was it?
Yeah,
Justin?
Dragon Quest
that
9.
had the.
Yep.
Yeah, it had that kind of like local multiplayer kind of aspect to it. And like a thing, you would see people would meet up and get together in like little parties and stuff. Like, they'd go to all like post online, we're all going to meet up here and play together. And then people would get together and they'd have like a little bit of a party. And there was stuff like that for Monster
That would have
Hunter.
been so much fun. That sounds like a blast.
It's just the kind of thing, like, you guys can't really do that in the U.S. because the U.S.
Yeah.
is too big.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
The kind of thing you get out of it is different than you would get out of it from playing online. And, like, the thing is, I go to some of these kind of types of gaming events. I go to, like, one every month or so. And, it's fun because like you get to go there and you get to meet a bunch of people and you get to play games and you get to like kind of experience this kind of, it's like couch multiplayer with a bunch of people with your own screen, I guess, essentially.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's like a kind of like level of fun to it that you don't really get when you're playing online. You're face to face with people. Even if it's not really people you're still like playing online and you got that kind of camaraderie going on.
Nothing tops being in the room together, playing together.
Yeah.
That's such a better experience than being online talking through mics.
Well, you'll see it like when Monster Hunter is released like on a handheld or something in Japan, people will stick around after they buy it. They won't just like buy it and go home. They'll like buy it and sit around and wait for other people to come out and start playing with
and
them.
start playing together. Oh, that's awesome.
It's the kind of thing where like it's more like a community. More, there is online now. There's online for it, but that kind of thing, the base of Monster Hunter, the base of those kind of hunting type games, is really local ad hoc multiplayer, and it's because like Japan is really focused in a kind of denser area. You can get a lot of people together for like things like that.
How was Soul Sacrifice over there? Because I know that's one of the ones you loved, and it's kind of in the same vein. Was that just as popular? Were people meeting up for that one, little get-togethers?
Well, I mean, it's not as popular, but you could play online with that. And I did meet up with people to play in person some Soul Sacrifice.
Cool.
That was pretty fun. Awesome. That game was a lot of fun.
How about have you tried any games in that vein, Chance, or any of the hunting type games?
I tried a little bit of Monster Hunter Freedom 2 on the PSP, and it was all right. I didn't end up keeping it because I just wasn't that impressed by it. And I've played a little Soul Sacrifice too, and I don't know, maybe it's just because it was on the Vita and it just felt a little bit better, controlled a little better. I liked it a little bit more.
Second stick, man, for that camera.
I liked it a little bit more, but admittedly haven't put very much time into it. But I kept it around on the memory card just in case I wanted to play it again.
Well, now Dustin, I'm in kind of a predicament, man.
Oh.
Because I pre-ordered the collector's edition for Monster Hunter 4 on 3DS.
Yeah.
But I want the new 3DS, but it's not going to be compatible with the thumbstick. So, do I hold on to my XL with the Circle Pad Pro because I want to trade that in toward the new 3DS,
right?
And not have thumbstick capabilities? Or
wait, you mean the second thumbstick, the camera stick, right?
Yeah, it's not going to work with these games
unless it isn't.
I heard unless it's that's what they said. Unless it's one of the new ones programmed for it, like Resident Evil Revelations and stuff, isn't going to work with the new one.
That makes no sense.
Tell me about it. It doesn't.
Man, Jesus. the new 3DS is like I don't know, like you guys have heard me talk about it a little bit, but the new 3DS is like, I was referring to it as the 32XDS. It's like it's like such a bizarre choice. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not even that the upgraded parts of it are bad. I think like the things they're doing to it are good, but it's such a weird choice in the sense that like, that didn't work with the DSi guys. People didn't buy the DSi to play those DSi exclusive games. There were like 3 of them.
Yeah.
The thing with
there's only like 3 or 4 thumbstick games now, and you can't make the system compatible for those 3 or 4. Come on.
Yeah, but the thing with the new 3DS is that it's like a weird kind of splitting of the market, and if you're gonna like actually push games that people want for that system only, like not that game itself is going to suffer because a lot of people aren't going to be like, well, I kind of want to play that, but I'm not going to spend like $200 on a new system just to play one game for for a system I already own.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just playing Xenoblade Chronicles on a portable system would be, crazy in and of itself. But like when they first announced that thing, I got like bedazzled by the fucking Super Famicom buttons. I was like, ooh, look at that new sexy thing. But now I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, it just seems like, I don't know. I'm in a very wait and see moment with it, because if like every game that comes out is going to be for the new 3DS, then maybe I will. But if it's going to be like Joe said, like the DSi, where it's like only a handful of games, utilized it, and then the 3DS, or not the 3DS, the DS XL came along that can play those games,
That's the thing. It won't be able to.
It's the kind of thing where like it reminds me of two things. It reminds me of like 32X and the super graphics. Like, these are not systems you want to be compared to. And the thing is like the super graphics. The super graphics could play all of the PC Engine games, but like it also had like other games that could take care of take advantage of its more powerful system. And like what happened was the Super Graphics was a failure because nobody wanted to buy it just for the few games that came out that were exclusive to it. And like the 32X is similar because it was an add-on you had to buy it for the system you already own, and it didn't have like enough stuff to make it compelling. And I think like the new 3DS is exactly that kind of thing, unless for some reason they get like this huge groundswell of support for it. And looking at the way that the 3DS is going right now, with like the kind of barren release schedule it has, like it's not filling me with kind of confidence that I should buy one, because I'm thinking it's going to get Xenoblade Chronicles and then who knows? Because that's the thing. It's going to get like 1 or 2 more, I think, and nobody's going to support it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to have that second stick, but you're not going to be able to use it on anything. And then, it's great that it has a more powerful processor, but it's not like I browse the internet on my 3DS.
True. Well, even that second stick is kind of chintzy. It's like,
it's a nub.
Yeah, put a fucking another circle pad on it. For God's sake.
It's not something they expect your finger to be on the whole time. It's like,
honestly, the new 3DS is what the 3DS should have been when it first came out.
So you have a 3DS, a 3DS XL, a 2DS, and now the new 3DS. Whee! I love you, Nintendo, still. Even though Joe hates you guys, I love you, Nintendo.
That's the thing. Like, I don't hate Nintendo. I just don't. I mean, I don't like them as a developer for the most part. But it doesn't stop me from buying all their systems.
Yeah.
The thing is like, this is a weird decision, and maybe it'll work. I don't know, but like, historically, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, the 2DS was a weird decision as well. I mean, it's like the 3DS XL came out, and everyone's like, all right, yeah, we know this was coming. And then from there on out, everyone's like, seriously, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Apparently, the 2DS did kind of okay.
Well, I mean, now that I have a 5-year-old child in my life, I can see the advantage of a 2DS.
Well, and it was cheap.
Yeah, and
it was only $130 right out of the gate. I mean,
it's cheap,
brilliant.
And I honestly, the amount of times I use the 3D on my 3DS is next to nothing. So I mean, I can see the point of it.
Hey, Chance.
Yeah.
ask Joe how excited he is for Smash Brothers.
Joe,
Fucking hell.
how excited are you for Smash Brothers?
If there was like a scale from like 1 to 10, like 1 being the least excited and 10 being the most excited, I'm probably about like negative 18.
Needless to say, he's going to be there half hour early for the AGP game night.
Yep.
Just waiting. Just sitting there waiting with his Wii U gamepad in his hands.
Are you guys are playing it on the Wii U, not the 3DS? Oh yeah, you can't record on the 3DS.
Yeah, I can't record that. I'll be recording it.
After
it's already out here. I've seen people. I watched like Pete Dorr streaming it. And yeah,
we don't need you kicking our butt in another fighting game anyway. So
it's fucking Smash Brothers. I don't know. Like I honestly I don't know what the draw of Smash Brothers is. It's I just don't get it. It doesn't.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I've never been a huge fan of it, but for some reason, I just really want to get this new one. Maybe it's because I do have friends to play with now online, so I just want to play with people. But it's never really been a huge thing.
It's really fun when you get 4 people together and it's just going crazy.
Yeah, it feels like every time I've played Smash Brothers, it just feels like a party game, like a one-trick pony party game. Like, you know, like Mario Party has like a bunch of party games.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers is like just one of those over and over.
It's crazy though, because when I'll enjoy watching all the tournaments on Twitch with Street Fighter and stuff. And when Smash comes on, that's when the viewer count goes up like crazy. It's insane how popular it is.
Yeah, I don't get it because like it's not like if comparatively,
doesn't seem too strategic, you know.
Yeah, it's not like comparatively Smash Brothers is like a real like technical fighter compared to something like Street Fighter or King of Fighters or something. And like when I play fighting games, I like technical fighting games.
Yeah.
And you know, Smash Brothers feels like half the time feels random. Like who's gonna win? You know, it's just like, you know, you could be doing awesome, you could like know all these combos, and then suddenly you're knocked off the platform. That's like the only thing. It's like it seems like a fighting game like anybody can be good at any given point.
Speaking of since the last when you were at the Street Fighter game night, Joe, did you know you happen to be playing with the best Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player in Sweden? In Senkai, we just learned that during the podcast he was on last time. He's the best player at Marvel vs. Capcom in Sweden.
Wow, I wish we could have played that because I haven't played in a while, but I was reasonably good at Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
As easy as it is to do combos in that game, I think I can only get a 10 hit combo.
Really, I was like getting
so
way
bad.
Up there. I was using
bad.
I was always like psyching people out because I always use Shuma Gorath, and nobody uses him. So like like the thing with playing fighting games online, especially stuff like Marvel vs. Capcom, is you get so many salty people like sending you messages.
Yeah.
And like everybody gets pissed off in that game. Like you get so many angry messages from people in
Way
like
to pick top tier.
Yeah, it's always stuff like that. But like every time, like, you know, I'd always pick these teams like, oh, I'm like Shuma Gorath and Thor and Beautiful Joe or something, and like, and
see, that's the thing. I like Beautiful Joe, but apparently he
me
sucks
too.
in the game. So,
but I always use him though because like you can get crazy combos with him.
Yeah,
he doesn't do a lot of damage, but he's good. But like the thing is with like when you use Shuma Gorath, like and you win, people always send you messages like, "I've never seen anybody use that guy before," like or like, "Wow, you were pretty good with him." Like nobody is ever good with him.
Hence why you are really good with Dan.
Yeah, well, I just like using characters that nobody else uses. It's kind of like more of a challenge to myself and to like get good with people that people think are automatically going to be bad.
Well, get this, Dustin. In Ultra, Dan is not the worst character.
Really?
And
Who's the worst character now?
DJ is apparently the worst character in the game.
I mean, yeah.
I love DJ, though.
And
I
think over in
DJ.
Japan, they say Hugo is, right? But apparently it's DJ over here.
There's tier rankings, you know, which
the tiers.
Dan has always been, like, kind of a mid-tier. He's never been, like, really low.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at the base, he is, like, a kind of, gimped version of Ryu or Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not, like, terrible ever. He's just not that strong, and he doesn't have a lot of combos.
If you know the range, I mean, you can use him effectively, but...
Yeah, you just have to really be good with the ranges and, like, kind of what moves he can use over other people's moves.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, because sometimes people have these combos that they, like, link up with a beginning thing, but for some of Dan's moves have, like, this weird, like, they take precedence over those. So, like, you can kind of knock people out of combos with Dan really easily. So that's, like, one of the powers of Dan. Like, since I was ranked really high with Dan, I'm, like, got pretty good at using him.
Yeah. Speaking of Street Fighter, Chance, have you been keeping up with Excellent Adventures?
I haven't.
Man.
You should see my watch later queue on YouTube. It's nearing.
Well, let's just
200.
say K. Brad is back, and he has earned some points from me because he mentioned that he's been playing through Final Fantasy X, the HD. So there you go. Your boy is a fan of Final Fantasy X.
All right.
I've been meaning to ask you, Chance. Do you have Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
I do. Yes.
I just bought that recently. I haven't even put it in my system yet, but
we got the free Vita ones though, so that's
I have it on. I have it on PlayStation 3 also.
Oh, you got that too? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to play,
sure.
I haven't played it yet, but eventually.
Well, then I might win like half of one round then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the system yet. I literally have not played the game yet. So.
Well, I mean, if you pick a Street Fighter character, it plays exactly like Street Fighter.
Is Dan in the game? Because
yes, I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just play Dan.
Yeah, it's the only thing different is like the and I forget like the actual verbiage, but like the tag in and out mechanic. Like you can like combo off of that pretty easily. Like you can have a combo going with one character and then hit the whatever key to switch characters, and then like you can keep the combo and then switch back if you want to.
So it plays like Tekken Tag does?
Yeah.
And it's easier to pull off the supers and stuff too, I think.
Yeah, it's really not. I actually really like it. People kind of shit on it like for a while there, but I think it had like, to do with some online stuff, like kind of right in the beginning. There was some weirdness with it, and
it sucked because everything was going to a timeout. Like people weren't fighting, so it kept getting timeouts, and no one was actually dying, which kind of sucked.
Well, and like the full roster like isn't available like from Go, and I don't know if you have to buy additional packs or whatever to get all of the characters, or if they're unlockables. I haven't played that much to know that.
No, I guess there's like that was like one of the things that people hated about the game was that it had like on disc DLC or whatever.
Yeah,
that was like
if you buy the Vita version, it's all there like right from the start. Like you can play as anybody that's in the game from Go on the Vita, but not on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I don't know who the characters are in it or anything. It was like $5. I found it for $5, and I was like, "Well, I've never played it yet, but I gotta pick it up for $5."
Yeah, I don't have much experience with Tekken, but I try to kind of switch it up, and not just use Street Fighter characters, and kind of go through like some of the training modes with the Tekken characters. So I can't say exactly, like if those Tekken characters play they do in Tekken, but they do play slightly differently than the Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, the thing is like the gaming event that I go to is like populated with like Japan's best Tekken players for some reason, and they're always playing Tekken. Like there's always like a set up specialized Tekken only console like on a big screen, like and they're constantly playing Tekken. So like I actually played in a tournament with them. Like we had a Tekken tag team tournament where like the pro people were there, and like the pro people were teamed up with people who didn't know how to play. So like it was like me and some pro guy, and like against other people like that. It was like a pretty cool thing, even though I suck at Tekken.
Yeah, I've never played like with another person like on the same team. That would be really hard. I think like four people, like a true tag team. That would be really interesting to try, but yeah, we could play sometime. That'd be awesome. It's a fun game.
I mean, because I don't know anybody else is playing. Maybe Sprites and Bytes. We can talk to him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Gareth is awesome.
So we could get like a couple of people playing, because I know he's still playing it, and he's like putting up combo videos and stuff. So he's probably pretty good. And
Yeah.
I haven't played, and you haven't played that much. So
No, I actually really haven't played that much, and I haven't played in a couple of months actually. So now that you're telling me this, I'm gonna put it back in and get some more practice.
Speaking of playing, might as well talk about what we've been playing. Because it's hitting my cutoff time here, so we're going to have to bring Joe back for like a part 2.
yeah, we didn't even talk about the main topic.
What was the main topic going to be?
I don't know.
I was going to say, I didn't know we had a main topic.
We wanted to hit on some Persona stuff.
Wait, the main topic was originally supposed to be me talking about dungeon crawlers with the Chance, because...
yeah!
Originally, when you guys mentioned on the podcast, like, you wanted to have me on, was to talk about dungeon crawlers with Chance.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay, I'm thinking of the wrong type of dungeon crawler then, because I was going to say I wanted to do a strictly dungeon crawler episode, but not on first person crawling through dungeons.
Yeah.
So
Steven does not enjoy them.
Oh man, I love them so much.
So, what have you been playing, Chance, then?
Okay. I picked back up, like I said, in one of my videos. I've been playing a little bit of Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, and having a lot more fun with it than the last time I did. And I don't know what changed, but suddenly I understood it, understood how to play a little bit better. So I've actually made quite a bit of progress with it. I don't really understand what's going on necessarily with the story. It's kind of complicated, like for my simple brain, but it's fun though. I like the combat a lot. I'm getting used to the whole demon fusing and thing like that. And one of the points of contention I was having at the beginning was like I didn't really know like if like the demons got stronger as I went, or if I just needed to just fuse them and get it over with so I could get more powerful ones. So once I realized that, yeah, your demons don't level up at all, that kind of made it a little bit easier for me, I guess, because I didn't try to just continually use ones that were actually causing me problems. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Persona 3, I did start that and played about 5 hours or so. I've kind of let it go stale for now, but I'm not far enough into the game that I feel like I've forgotten anything, important. I really like kind of the as opposed to going to like a big overworld where you have to go to a whole bunch of different places. I kind of enjoy how all of the combat kind of takes place in this one kind of central location in the Tartarus, this big weird tower thing. But one complaint I have, and I talked about it, I think, in my video, is that since I am such a low level and I don't have very many party members, like as soon as my party members are like tired, like I have to stop. I have to just stop what I'm doing and go back and rest, even if my main character doesn't need to rest, like my HP is fine or whatever. I still have to kind of stop what I'm doing and just go back and rest and work on the social links and stuff more, which is fine. I get it. It's really interesting at the very least for someone like me who is so new to SMT, in general. The whole social thing is new to me, so that's fun. For some reason, I decided I wanted to play Fire Emblem Awakening again. So I was talking to Crack Lotus mentioned it in one of his videos or something, or mentioned it on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? I want to play that again too. So I put it in, and I'm already on like chapter 7 for some reason. I have no idea why I'm playing that again, but it's freaking amazing. I love that game. And lastly, I would say the game that has taken up most of my time is something that I never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would play in my entire life. My brother-in-law convinced me finally to play Minecraft, and yeah, I'm pretty addicted to it.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Chance.
no.
We've lost him.
Oh man, it is.
Have you played? Where are you playing on? Have you played with the Grubmeister yet?
No, I'm on 360 because that's my brother-in-law is on 360 and he wanted to play. And oh my god, dude!
So you re-upped on a live account then, or do you?
Yeah,
not have,
yeah. I've
Okay.
had it for a little while now.
Okay.
Oh jeez, like I don't need.
I still can't wrap my head around that game. Like I don't know what the appeal is.
I can't even possibly explain what the appeal is because I don't either. All I know is that I can't stop. It is.
I can't just keep digging, just keep digging.
It's a lot of fun, and maybe it's just because it's really relaxing. Like you can just sit there and just totally just do whatever the heck you want, and the hours just melt. And I've only had it for about 2 weeks now, and I've already put about 30 hours into this game. So
wow,
if that is any indication, that first weekend I put in about 17 hours in about 2 days.
So you have a house bill.
I have a I call it the Dark Spire. It's a giant tower.
How original!
Yeah, yeah, how original.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's interesting. I thought about doing a video on it.
I'd be interested in seeing what you did with the time you put into it.
I've got a capture device, and I thought about I'm just not sure how to put audio to it, like me talking, and I don't know how to do that technically. So I don't know. I might have Haas help me out with that because he's pretty good at that kind of stuff, and he plays Minecraft too. So
the only time I was even remotely interested in that game was when I saw someone was building a life-sized version of the Enterprise D, and it had all the decks, and you could like go to each deck and everything, and that was like just to see like the mega structures that people build in that game.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the only way I understand it, as like this virtual Lego set.
And that's the only way you can describe it. I mean, like the survival mode, like adds a little bit to it because there's like monsters and shit that are out to kill you, and like you have to eat and things like that. But above all, like all you're doing is just building random crap. I like I said, I still don't totally understand it myself, but I love it. It is it is so good.
Nice.
That's it. Minecraft, that's it.
All right. I'll go ahead and go into mine. Actually played and beaten a lot of games since the last podcast, but I won't go over a lot of them. I'm sorry, I got distracted by a video on the Facebook. Games I actually just beat this week. I beat Max Payne 3 and Batman Arkham Blackgate, I believe is what it's called on the Vita. Both were a ton of fun. I did a video on them, but for some reason I can't get the video to seem to work. But as soon as I get the kinks worked out on it, that'll be put up. But the Batman Arkham game, it flowed just like some of the ones for the combat and everything. It was pretty much the same from the games you play on console. It's just on pretty much a 2D platform. So it was pretty fun, really cool art style. Max Payne 3 was just a blast going through, shooting up, and the cinematics and storytelling in this game were just amazing. Rockstar knows how to tell stories just from me playing from Red Dead Redemption and loving that. Man, this game is just awesome. So if there's a Max Payne 4, I'm all in. But I've really been on, like I mentioned previously, a dungeon crawler hype, the true dungeon crawler hype, not no first-person dungeon crawler stuff.
Shut up.
But and it started off when Diablo 3 introduced their new seasons mode that made me want to start a new character in Diablo 3, and that character's already got 30 hours like Chance with his guy behind him, and just having a blast with that. And that triggered me wanting to start up Torchlight 2, since pretty much did everything I can do in the Diablo 3 except just leveling up a little bit more Paragon points. But other than that, I got all my gear.
Is it on PC?
Yeah.
Have you bought the Ultimate Evil Edition or whatever for console?
No, because I'm like, do I want to quadruple dip in the game?
Yeah,
I've already bought it 3 times. I never want to buy it again on console.
I'm really thinking about like trying to trade mine in my console version, but I should have done it like months ago when I.
Oh yeah, that was trading in for good money for a long time too. I don't know if it still is or
Well,
not.
now that the Ultimate Evil Edition's out, no one's going to take it for a good
Yeah.
trade in because it's like, well, crap. So,
but I don't even think that has a seasons mode, but you'll get all the other updates, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But then Torchlight 2, and Torchlight 2 is, I mean, that people say that's better than Diablo. Right now, I had more fun with Diablo 3, but Torchlight 2 is still a great dungeon crawler in its own. So hopefully I'll have that beat by the end of the week. And then I wanted to start up. I wanted to know if Dustin or Joe, if any of you guys have played any of the Shiren the Wanderer games.
I have one, but I haven't played it yet.
How did you like it, Joe?
I like those games. That game is... I don't know if you've ever played any of the Mystery Dungeon games, but it's part of that series, so it kind of plays the same way. Which one are you playing, by the way?
The Wii. I was going to play the Wii one.
Okay, so that's 3.
It just says Shiren the Wanderer on it, so I'm not sure. But I was gonna put that in and give it a try because it is kind of like a dungeon crawler. You're crawling through dungeons.
It's a roguelike though.
Yeah.
So if you die, you lose all your levels and all your stuff.
I heard in this one you don't lose levels; you just lose your gear.
No, not really.
That's a shame.
Well, actually, maybe. Actually, that might be true. I don't know. In the Japanese version, at least, you lose all your levels. I don't know if they.
Well, in the review I watched said he lost all his items. He didn't mention nothing about levels though, so he could be wrong.
Well, you start from level 1 every time you enter a dungeon.
Oh, okay.
So,
but it looked like a lot of fun. It looked awesome. So I was going to put that in. But what kept me from putting it in is I want to know if you've played this game too, Joe. From Software. Tales. What? Oh, now I forgot the name. Shadow Tower Abyss.
Oh yeah, Shadow Tower Abyss is really good.
Oh man, I found out that they did an English patch for it for PS2 online, so I downloaded the patch and booted it up. And man, I can definitely see how Demon Souls got its roots.
It's got guns. That's why, like, when they were originally, they showed that, like, teaser trailer for Bloodborne before anybody knew what it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, oh, well, maybe it's another Shadow Tower game because there's guns. But, yeah, it's first person, so it doesn't play like Dark Souls, really. But
no, it just, well, from what I've seen, it's like it needs me to get kind of like kill the lords, like the 7 lords to access things, so...
Yeah, the setup is kind of similar, but it's a pretty good game. Like I played through it recently, and it's got a lot of cool stuff in it. Like the tower itself is pretty cool, and the weapons are cool, and you kind of get magic and stuff, and there's like a bunch of creepy enemies. You know, it's a From Software kind of horror-ish kind of game. Dustin, you're on that.
Oh yeah. I'm actually booting up my laptop right now to download it.
But it's it wasn't too difficult so far from what I play, but I hear it can get pretty tough. But just I'm into dungeon crawling and
difficult.
It's just like a first person dungeon crawler in a kind of way.
I think there's a bunch of first person dungeon crawlers that are first person action dungeon crawlers.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it called? Legend of Grimrock was.
That.
And
that's one I mentioned a while back that I wanted to boot up, but I haven't yet.
That game is pretty good. It's really short, though. I mean, you can beat in a couple hours, 8 hours maybe.
Well, from so far, this Shadow Tower, it's pretty fun. So I'm probably going to try to stick through that one and see it to the end. The control scheme takes some getting used to, and luckily it has a bunch of different mappings to where you can kind of control it like a first-person shooter game. But just the man, I wish I could adjust the sensitivity on turning around because that's the only downfall in it.
Oh yeah, it's really slow.
Yeah, but I mean, combat. I didn't think they made things like this on the PS2, so it's pretty awesome. I never played a game like this on PS2, so crawling through dungeons, getting gear.
The first Shadow Tower plays pretty much the same. PS1.
Well, oh yeah, there is a PS1 one. I forgot all about that. I was talking to Scott about it. So
there's also what's it called, Kingsfield, which is pretty similar, minus the guns.
Speaking of Ultimate Floyd, download this English patch for Shadow Tower Abyss and play it.
Yeah, Shadow Tower Abyss is a good game. I think Pete Dorr did a video about it a while back. Not the English patch, though.
Yeah. I don't know how long it's been out. It's just I searched it today and it popped up. It's like, okay, I'll take that. So anyways, that's what some of my time went to today. But yeah, just been really in a dungeon crawling mood of just anything where I can level up a character and get gear and just see improvement. So that's why I was looking forward to Destiny coming out this month, because it was supposed to be kind of the same, but just from what I heard from people, I didn't do it, so I didn't pull the trigger. So that's it for moi.
Does that mean you are gonna get the new Borderlands when that comes out? Is Borderlands something you like?
Oh, I loved Borderlands, and then Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is another one where I've had it for each console, and now I'm having it on the Vita. Is the most recent purchase. But the prequel, not as excited about it, but eventually I'll get it. But I do love some Borderlands. Dustin, you go. We'll save our guest for last.
Okay.
If he's still awake.
I'm still awake.
Okay.
I've really only been playing 3 things. I started up Tales of Exilia 2, and this is the way to do a direct sequel to an RPG, because unlike, say, let's go from Final Fantasy 13 to Final Fantasy 13-2. 13-2 puts you in the role of new characters and didn't really do much with the old characters, but Xillia 2 really does a good job of expanding on what's already happened, and so the characters that you've grown to love in Xillia 1, they continue to be developed in Xillia 2. So it's really nice to kind of catch up with these people that you spent so much time with in Xillia 1 and see what they're doing now and how the story kind of unfolds. So instead of Final Fantasy 13-2 kind of hitting the reset button on everything, it continues the world and continues the story. So it really is kind of like watching a movie sequel in a lot of ways.
What is this gold farming thing that he was talking about in that message?
Okay. So the main character, Luger, he in the early parts of the game, he is saddled with this enormous debt. And in order to progress in the game, you have to pay down this debt. Which, with all the side missions and stuff like that, like the quest and side jobs and things like that, it's super easy to pay this down. So I don't understand why people are complaining about this, because it's literally you get to the point in the game and it tells you, the storyline tells you where you need to go next. Okay, well, the next level of paying down your debt will get you to that next. So all you gotta do is go out and fight some monsters and pay down this debt a little bit. I mean, that's all you have to do. So it's not super awful. I can see how people who just want to power through these games would be kind of miffed at it. But for me, I enjoy taking my time with Tales games, and so it's not really that big of a deal to me. So super easy to pay down your debt. I don't know why it's a big issue.
I can't wait to get into that one. This is a busy time of year for me, so I'm just waiting for things to slow down till November.
Yeah. The only bad thing is Luger is a silent protagonist. So you have the other Xillia characters doing their thing, and then Luger will just go yeah or okay, and that's it.
In New Game Plus or something, I heard he gets a voice, right? I forget how it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the game is so built on choice. You're in the storyline, you're always given choices of how to respond to people. So I can understand why he's a silent protagonist, but at the same time, I want him to it just seems like he doesn't give a shit.
I was gonna say, what's it like? Because this is the first time in a Tales game, right? They've had that.
What?
A silent protagonist.
Yeah,
you're always the lead character and talking and in the middle of everything.
It just seems like he's along for the ride. I think Alex said that in the chat one day, and it's exactly right. It just seems like Luger's along for the ride, and you should really be playing as Jude or something. But that's been completely sidetracked here recently, because I've just recently got to the plot twist in Danganronpa 2, and I can't put that game down. As frustrated as I get with the trials and the logic of the trials and the mini games that they throw at you, the storyline just keeps me coming back to the games because it's so crazy and so over the top, and you just want to see what crazy thing they're going to throw at you next. And the only thing that's weird about Danganronpa 2 is it's a lot more fan servicey than the original. I think I talked about that earlier. And there's just like a few scenes, like even in my apartment sitting here, like when like a certain image pops up on the screen, you just kind of like look around to make sure no one's looking over your shoulder, because it's just, I don't know. Some people really like that, and I don't like. It doesn't bother me, but at the same time, it just kind of takes me out of the game to see that in there. And I don't know, like you get all wrapped up in this like intricate murder mystery plot and this crazy stuff that's going on, and then all of a sudden it's like you see two women in the shower together, and the steam's covering all their naughty bits, and it's like, okay, I get it, but get back to what I want to see here. If I have a high-speed internet connection, if I really want, pornography, I can find it very easily. It's not the 1990s anymore. That shit was hard to find. But really looking forward to seeing how it's just getting to the point right now where everything ties into the original. It's getting really interesting. So it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes, and supposedly it ties up pretty well at the end. So if you like your visual novels, peppered with some, slightly scandalous scenes, pick up Danganronpa 2. And then finally, I did, against my better judgment, because I so want the 3DS titles to come over here, I did buy Dragon Quest 1 on my iPhone for $3. And it's fun, but they kind of nerfed the game a little bit. Like I'm in places I should not be at my level, and like I had a club for the longest time. And if you've played like the NES version of Dragon Quest 1, you can't go very far with that wooden club that you start out with. So, but I had it for a very good portion of the game. But it's a fun, and the controls are very good. The digital D-pad is very good. I don't know how they'll be able to do maybe Dragon Quest 3. If they did Dragon Quest 3 on the iPhone, I'd definitely buy it. But I don't know about buying Dragon Quest 8 or what's the other one? Dragon Quest 4 that they released.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about buying those, because those are kind of ridiculously expensive. But I guess not when you look at what the cost would be for buying it on the PS2.
Dargan Quest 4?
Dargan Quest 4, yeah.
That's the one you're referring to?
Yes, that's what I'm... Thank you, Chance. Thank you for reminding me that Square Enix doesn't give a shit.
Just checking.
Yeah. But I've been having a good time with that, and it's nice because, when I go over to the girlfriend's house and, Lily wants to put on some kids show, I can just, bring up Dragon Quest on my phone, and it's fine. But that's really been it. I've been really focusing on, Tales of Exilia and Danganronpa. So hopefully I get those done sometime. Danganronpa should be done sometime this week, but I don't know about Xillia.
Sweet. I'm already getting news leaking out of some of these announcements over here, and I'm already getting mad about games coming out to you, Joe. We're not going to be getting probably.
Awesome. What's coming?
Well,
you probably right in.
Final Fantasy Explorers looks like something I would love, and you're getting it in December, and we're probably not going to get it ever. So.
It's got Final Fantasy in the title. We're going to get it.
Yeah, that'll probably come out for you guys. That looks like a monster hunting game with Final Fantasy characters.
Exactly. Monster hunting. But anyways, what have you been playing though, man?
I've been really busy with stupid manga translation. It's it's painful. I don't know why I accepted it. But I've been really busy with that, so I haven't had a ton of time to play stuff recently. So I've been playing, what's it called? Yakuza 1 and 2 on the Wii U. And I played, I beat the first one. The first two games are really short. The first one I think took 10 hours to beat. And the second one I've been kind of intermittently playing. Mm-hmm. But it's it's an HD, the HD collection on the Wii U. And it's I haven't bought a lot of HD collections, but are they all poor looking? Because this one, it's kind of HD, but it looks bad.
The ones I played on
PS3 and stuff looked pretty good. Like the Devil May Cry and everything seemed okay.
Yeah, like it's weird because like some stuff in the game looks HDified and some of it just looks like upscaled. It like doesn't look like it just looks like it's stretched to fit the screen. Like it's weird because some of the character models look HD and then some of the in the backgrounds look just like same as they would on the PS2. So
Sega cutting corners.
It's probably what it is. But the thing with it is that like because it looks bad like that in a lot of cases I've just been playing it directly on the Wii U controller instead of on the TV. So that has actually helped. Actually, it looks pretty good on the controller.
Dustin's not a fan of that gamepad. Just has a controller kind of because it's the flimsiness and stuff.
I also physically can't hold it right now.
Yeah, but man, I love it going to that secondary screen. My son, I mean, man, that's all he ever plays it on is that secondary screen. So
I'm not happy with its range too. Like it has to be line of sight.
Yeah, it doesn't get doesn't get good distance.
If I could play Wii U in my bedroom, I would be ecstatic. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I can, but my bedroom is pretty close to my living room, so
mine. I mean, think about this. It's like.
This is almost a straight shot. You just have to move the Wii over a little bit, I guess.
Well, I tried doing that too. I tried moving it to the very edge of the stand and then laying on the very edge of my bed, and it was almost line of sight. But I mean, it's only like, I don't know, 20 feet away or something.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't work? I mean,
No.
because I don't live in a huge apartment or anything, but like it still works through the walls. If like I want to go from my living room to my bathroom or something, it's like 2 rooms over. It still has to play through that, but I can still like, beat up thugs in the street in Yakuza on my toilet if I feel the need to.
So mine can't do that, and my bathroom's almost right beside my TV stand, and I can't do that.
I was gonna say maybe in that case my maybe my apartment's like secretly a fallout shelter too or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't had it. I can use it anywhere in my apartment. It works, so I haven't had any trouble with that. But I only bought it on the Wii U because I figured I should use my Wii U. Like I posted it on Facebook, but like I actually had to dust off the controller to play it. Like it actually had a layer of dust on it. That was like how little I use my Wii U.
My gamepad has a pretty thick layer of dust, but the Pro controller's pretty clean.
There you go.
So
I don't even have a Pro controller. Just use the Wii pad for everything. I don't dislike the Wii pad. I think I like the idea of it at least. I just think the I don't like playing games where I have to keep holding up the pad and moving it around and stuff. Screw that.
Yeah.
That was like the worst part of playing what's the Zombie U was that I liked that game, but I hated the parts where I had to keep holding up the controller to scan the screen or whatever.
I forgot to mention, Dustin, I popped in Wonderful 101 today for the first time to give that a try.
Yeah.
And I got to that stupid part where you get in a building where you got to control with the pad.
Oh my god, it's so annoying, isn't it?
And it threw me off big time. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But
I still love that game though. It's so I need to go back and finish it. It's so over the top.
I still have to pick that up. I'm just waiting for it to drop in price a bit because like it's still expensive here. But I want to get it. It's like on my list of Wii U stuff to buy, but I just haven't picked it up yet. There's I have like such a small list of stuff on the Wii U, and like pretty much none of it is out. So it's the kind of thing where usually when something comes out, I buy it for the Wii U. So
I think over here it still holds like almost a $30 value used, but good luck even trying to find it in a GameStop. At least in my area, because you won't.
I went to GameStop the other day, and I'm giving up on GameStop. Like I can't find anything in there. Like I went in there, I was like, I'm not leaving without something. So I bought the PS3 version of Eternal Sonata, even though I have the Xbox 360 version. But it was cheap enough, and it's the enhanced version, so that's what I.
Dude, I'm there with you. I went in there because I had a birthday coupon to use, and I literally couldn't find anything. I said, man, if you tell me you have a Danganronpa, because that's at the time I was looking for that behind the counter, I'll get it. Or even the second one had just come out, I'll get it. And they didn't have either of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's nothing.
What system's that on? The Vita? Is that a thing?
He was like, they needed me to like spell it out like the name. I was like, you work here. Why don't you know what's coming? What are you talking about?
You mean Destiny, right? That's what you want.
Oh, quick Destiny before so Joe can finish. Pork Chop Biscuit Bishop, who's played with us online and stuff, he went and picked up Destiny the other day. And before he left, he said it was the corniest thing. The guy handed it to him, and he said, "Here you go. Your destiny awaits. Be off."
Like that's where you slapped the guy in the face and then walked out.
He said he looked at the dude and said, "Seriously?" He's like, "What?" It's like, "You seriously just said that to me?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of saying it to everybody." And he was like, "Okay," and just left.
Wow.
There you go.
Man.
So, anything else, Joe?
Yeah. I've been playing Metal Slug a lot.
Ooh, nice.
Because I started playing Metal Slug Defense on the iPhone, and it's surprisingly addictive. Like I can't stop playing it. But I've actually beat everything in the game. Like there's nothing left for me to do now. But it's like a tower offense game, I want to say, because it's kind of, like tower defense, you like put down like just, and it has like all the Metal Slug characters and like Metal Slug types. You can get like all the vehicles and stuff. It's pretty cool. Like you just send out your units to attack and try and clear the stage. It's like a pretty fun game. So I've been playing. I beat all the stuff in that, and I was like, well, now I got to play some actual Metal Slug games. So I bought the Metal Slug collection on the PSP.
Nice.
And I used to have it actually on the PS2, but I gave it away, so I don't have it anymore. So I was like, man, I shouldn't have given that game away. So I went and bought it again.
I keep my anthology disc, my Wii copy, in the Wii U, like in the living room, in the cabinet, just always to pop in whenever I want to shoot up things. So it stays there permanently.
Yeah, Metal Slug is a pretty great series.
Yeah, I was just thinking I need to play Double X on the PSP.
Yeah, I got to buy that too because, it's
a UMD. Of course, you have to buy it.
Well, obviously, I mean, jeez. I showed my PSP collection on my channel, but like I didn't show the UMD movies because I have like 50 or so, and nobody cares about those. But like the Metal Slug collection has like all the games up until 6 or whatever. So 1, 2, X, 3, 4, 5, and 6 or whatever. But it doesn't have XX, which is 7. It was 7 on the DS, and then like it got re-released as an upgraded version as XX. Uh-huh. So to complete my Metal Slug collection, I have to get that. Yeah. But man, no, it's not cheap.
Double X?
You guys? Yeah. It's not like crazy expensive or anything, but it's like $35 or something.
Whoa! I think used here it's like 12, maybe.
Yeah, it's not that expensive here.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Why is it so expensive here?
I have no idea. I thought stuff would always be cheaper in Japan for some reason, as far as games.
Nah, it's weird because like some stuff is cheaper and then some stuff is way more expensive. It's kind of random, it seems, because unless it's something that's like a retro game that gets imported a lot. Like if you're a shooter, it's always expensive because there's less of those in Japan because people import them. But like if you're an RPG, those are usually cheap because it's not like people are importing them and then they sell a lot. So it's the kind of thing where there's just a ton of them.
Well, the problem here with us is we could find Metal Slug XX in our GameStop for $12.99, but it won't be in a case. That's the only problem here.
Yeah,
it'll just be the disc in a generic
pretty
case
much.
Or whatever.
Although mine is complete with case and manual. Boom!
Ooh, nice.
Did you get it at GameStop?
Let me look at the case real quick because there's probably like an.
If there's a lot of sticker residue, then it's probably from GameStop.
Well, I'm really good at getting the stickers off. I might have case swapped this, but I think I did pick it up at a GameStop somewhere. But I can get that sticker residue off pretty easily.
Man, I think I was looking it up recently, and it was like $30 or something used and like 50 new. So
man, oof. Well, if you want, we can keep an eye out for you here. We'll look out for you, man.
Yeah, the collection was like, I don't know, $15 or something new.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cheap.
I didn't feel bad
If you
about
feel
that.
any better, I don't own any of them, so.
I actually, I own the anthology twice.
I think the Wii anthology is the cheapest way to go. It's like $7.99, I think. I think it's pretty cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny because in Japan the Wii anthology is the most expensive one. It's like $80.
Whoa! Yeah, it's like $7 here. Man.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like because when I was looking up the collection, I was like, well, maybe I'll get the Wii one. I could just use it on the Wii U or whatever. But that was not going to happen. I'm not paying $80 for that collection.
Yeah.
See, I even go out and I still see like Metal Slug 3, 4, and I think 5. They're all on the Xbox individually, and like I'll even want to pick those up, even though I have these games like 4 times over by now between like the Neo Geo X and friggin' the anthology. I have Wii copy of the anthology. I have a PS2 copy of the anthology. I might have a PSP copy. I don't even know. There's something about Metal Slug. It just makes me want to buy it. I don't know what it is.
It's just it's simple game, but it's really fun, and the animations are all really done well, and it's got that charm to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use the Ikari Warriors.
They're just beautiful looking games to me. I just love the art style in them. And they run so smooth. It's nice.
So, have you guys tried Metal Slug Defense?
No. I don't think it's out over here.
It must be. It's in English.
Well, that doesn't mean they're going to release it over here.
Yeah, I don't know.
So was that Wolf game or whatever that's in Japan about a guy driving a mech as a president.
Yeah,
that's in English and it's not over here. Metal Wolf
Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, I want that game so bad.
It's expensive though.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
Metal Slug Defense. Son of a bitch! There it is, and it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Install.
I've cleared every mission in the game and every map, and I didn't spend any money, so there's like no reason to buy any of the purchases. Yeah. You get enough medals to get the units you want.
Hey, it's on Android devices too. Sweet.
Yeah. You guys should download it because if you like Metal Slug, it doesn't feel like playing Metal Slug, obviously, because it's kind of a tower defense game, but you get all the characters and stuff, and they all have the same animations from the games. It's like just copied and paste standard SNK style. But it's fun because all that Metal Slug stuff is there, and you kind of feel like, oh, it's like Metal Slug. It's fun.
Nice.
There's lots of stuff to upgrade. It's good.
Well, gentlemen, I have to call it a night. It's not safe to go to protect people off of only 4 hours of sleep, so I should probably go to bed.
Oh, boo-hoo. I've gone to take people's x-rays with 4 hours of sleep.
Well, it's the middle of the afternoon here, so I'm...
Yeah, you're wide awake. You're good to go. I'm fading away, so...
I gotta go back to stupid manga translation anyway.
Well, we definitely need to get you back, Joe, because there's a bunch more of stuff I want to talk about over there in Japan, Japanese culture and all. So, and we got to talk about Persona. That was like one of the main things we needed to get into. So
we didn't talk anything about that. And Chance has to talk about dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, and dungeon crawlers. So we're definitely getting you back, man. So one more time, can you fill people in on where they can find your channel and your podcast, your current podcast,
most up
to date podcast.
Let's see. I'm XcornmuffinX on YouTube, so you can find me on YouTube and also on Facebook. But I'm so like bad about using social media. I have a Twitter account too, but I almost never use it. But yeah, I'm on YouTube, and my podcast is the CXG podcast I do with Games of War, and yeah, that's also on YouTube. You can just search for that stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll plug it in. We'll plug it in. And just in case Josh listens to this, I did forget last night
I started up Need for Speed The Run because I was in a racing mood after watching all this crew stuff, and he really loves that game, and I got it off of his recommendation and playing it. So
everybody who bought it off his recommendation was mad at him too because they all hated it.
And so far, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm racing in a car, driving. It's fine. So
it was a funny in joke all the time. Everybody was making fun of Need to Speed the Run all the time. But
well, I like it so far, Josh.
Glad that somebody else liked it on Josh's recommendation because nobody else seemed to.
For the $4 it cost me, I'm enjoying it.
Oh, see, I think everyone was mad because they bought it at release.
Oof, no one done that. I wouldn't have even bought that at the $17.99 price. It was that. So, but anyways, thanks for coming on, man. It was awesome. It was great. This is a great show. When we had a couple. Sometimes we feel like we didn't put in our best efforts on some shows, but I think we did a good one tonight, gentlemen. So, thanks, Joe, for making that possible.
No problem. So is that the end? You're finished? You're done with the podcast?
Well, we have to say our goodbyes.
No, there is no goodbye.
There's no goodbyes?
There's only next time.
There's until next time. That's now I'm gonna get a copyright. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna get a copyright suit from Johnny now. We're saying until next time. Yeah, shit.
So I'm saying bye.
Bye.
Chance,
what?
No goodbye.
Oh, bye.
Chance fell asleep. Say bye, Joe.
All right, see you guys.